Omega level. Omega
level.
No other being has ever had the might, nay, the nobility.
Hey, how's it going? It's your boy Jersh Manhunter. Make sure you check out our social medias, Instagram, Omega_level_podcast, and at Facebook, Omega Level Podcast. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can find us at Omega Level Podcast. Man, that's a lot of podcasts, but here we go. Anchor, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, sure, that's a thing, and all of the other ones. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back to Omega Level. I am Nick. Sitting right next to me is Fat Skinny Steven.
Yeah, okay.
That
works.
Man, we have quite a bit to talk about this week. House of X and Powers of X are rolling on. Jonathan Hickman is doing wonders right now. As Steven was just telling me about, like, a certain Redditor who's in love with him. I don't know his name, and we're not going to promote him on this.
If anyone wants a good laugh, go to r/the Hickman, but there's an underscore between the and Hickman.
Is that his name?
No, that's the subreddit.
Okay, good. Yeah, all right.
No, I don't think he would have that in his username.
That's his username,
Yeah.
the Hickman. That's how much he hates him. Fuck that guy. I've even read his stuff and already like.
This is a man that created his own echo chamber because he's just so angry.
Are you sure it's not you?
Yeah.
Okay. Just
He
making
has
sure.
15 subscribers. I'm sure 14 of them are just alternate accounts.
Just burner accounts so we
Yeah.
can yell at people more.
Dude, he's always name dropping people too. He's like, "How can you like this such and such?" And everyone's like, "I don't know why you called me in, but you seem sad."
Wait, he tagged people all the time? It's like, dude, don't pull me into this. I don't care about you. That's awesome. So let's lead off the show. The top of the hour here.
The hour.
The hour. Sony and Marvel have come to an agreement as nobody could have ever seen coming. And Spider-Man is back in the MCU.
For 2 more movies.
For 2 more movies. From what I've heard, like, from people saying, or I guess what I've read, is that the original deal that was in place, right? So the deal that was in place previously was not done. Like, there was still 2 things left on it. But
really?
Marvel wanted to up what they were getting. So they asked for like 30%, I think. And I think maybe it was 25 originally. And then Sony said no. So Marvel's like, fuck it, we want 50 then. And Sony was like, no again. And then walked away. Yeah. Well, they wanted to split all of the cost 50% and take all the profits 50%. They originally offered 25, I believe. And then Sony said no to both of them. So then like the whole breakdown happened. And then they agreed to the original thing Marvel asked for was 25 to, I guess, keep the deal going. I don't know. I've heard people say this, but from my understanding, it's all just conjecture of how many movies were left on the deal, and nobody knew for certain. I was always under the impression that it was 4 or 3 solo Spideys, so there was going to be at least one more, but there was no more MCU movies on it. It was just the 3rd Spider-Man solo film.
See,
but that also could have been wrong as well.
I would have assumed that Marvel would have gotten a majority since they're the ones seeking money into making it.
No, they're not. Sony funded the entire thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Marvel didn't. I had originally thought that Marvel helped fund, but apparently they didn't fund at all. Sony funded everything. Marvel just did all the creative side.
Oh.
Which is how they even made money to begin with, because Marvel did the creative side. We've already seen Sony do that with Spider-Man, and it has not worked out well.
Hey, they made the animated Spider-Man movie.
Into the Spider-Verse is amazing. It's the best Spider-Man movie ever made. They'll probably never top it.
Yeah.
The movie's brilliant. But as far as live action goes, they have 5 of them. And like Josh would fight me so hard on this if you were here. But out of 5 Spider-Man movies, they made 2 that were good. Only 1 that was great. That's an awful track record.
Which ones are the ones that are good?
1 and 2. And I think 2 is
so
great.
You're talking about Sam Raimi?
Yeah, and I think 2 is great. I think 1 and 2 are good. 2 is great. 3 is awful. I think The Amazing Spider-Man, the first one with Andrew Garfield, was okay. I think he's great, but the movie is just all right.
I still
And the
love
second
how
one sucked.
Spider-Verse made fun of themselves with the making fun of the 3rd movie with him dancing on the street and
Yeah.
stuff.
Dude, the movie is so bad. And Raimi almost made a 4th one.
Spider-Man 2. Okay, it's been a long time since I've seen them, but
Two's Doc Ock.
1 was pretty good. Yeah,
That's amazing.
Doc Ock was incredible.
Yeah, that was
His
awesome.
performance was like fucking perfect.
Alfred Molina crushed it.
Yeah, 3rd one was absolute like dumpster fire.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Amazing Spider-Man 1.
It was okay.
But 2 was awful.
What? Jimmy Fox was amazing as Electro.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yes. He was awful.
Yeah.
Dude, he was so bad.
Oh my god, they shoved so much in that movie.
He
And
may have
none
been
of
the-
it was good.
He may have been the worst villain performance I've ever seen in a comic book movie. Like, he was that bad.
Yeah,
He was awful.
That's pretty good.
He was awful. And he was nothing like Electro should have been.
I don't even know if I can necessarily blame him. Like, it's probably the director's fault.
I mean, the director made a
Because
pretty
Jamie
decent
Foxx
one with the
isn't a
first
bad
one.
actor.
Not generally, but I don't think he's a particularly great actor either.
I will say, though, the Sam Raimi trilogy fooled me for a long time because this is before I read comics, and I genuinely thought that he just made webs from his body.
You'd never read comics before these movies?
No. What got me into comic books was the Christopher Nolan trilogy. I think I
you-
went and bought my first Batman comic right before The Dark Knight Rises started.
I did not know this. I thought you'd like always been into comics like me.
I've like looked up Wikipedia entries.
I thought you were like a purist, not some bandwagon movie fucking converter. Man, you're off the show now.
Wow.
You're off the show now.
Jesus. I mean,
Yeah, I didn't know that.
You have
That's
yes.
cool.
You're the professional opinion. I'm just the generic audience opinion.
So you're wrong mostly. That's cool. Remember that next time we talk about Ray.
I'm half and half. Oh, don't you?
Yeah. Mary Sue Steven.
I'm sorry that Rogue One is.
Don't
better
even
I'm
fucking
sorry
start.
that Rogue
Don't
One is
start.
better than the Last
Don't
Jedi.
start
and-
with me right now, Steven. Well, I hate you. So yeah, man, that's crazy. That's interesting. I didn't know that you got into them with The Dark Knight. So in 2008. So you've been into comics like, still 11 years. It's
Yeah.
quite a while.
Well, yeah, there was a few year gap when you just stopped taking me to Epicos.
Yeah. That's because I couldn't afford to spend $100 to $150 every week anymore.
Oh, I know.
And how I am, it's really hard to walk into a comic shop and not be like, oh, I want that. Like, it's hard not to do
I
that.
told myself when I went to Infinity Flux, I told Marion too, I was like, I'm going to limit myself to 3.
And now you have what,
I'm
15?
currently pulling 12, but like, things in the future too is going to be 27.
Yeah. When I first started going to Epicos, I went up there specifically for, man, what was the original? I went up there specifically to start getting Walking Dead because I'd been reading it and I didn't own any of them. I was reading them all digitally and I was current. And I think it was around like issue 140, like 141 and 142. Went up there to start getting those. And there was one other thing that had just come out that was only a
Was it
couple
like
issues
Vader?
in that I wanted to get, huh?
Was it like
Star Wars stuff was about to come out, or maybe that was also why I went. It was something like that. So I went with like 5 things in mind, and I left that day with like 12 things on my pull list. Like that day.
It's usually how it goes.
And then within like 2 months, I had like 30, 40 something titles. By the time I left
And you were
there,
pulling doubles.
I had over 50 titles on my pull list, and I pulled doubles of everything Star Wars. Everything. And for a long time, everything Walking Dead was pulling doubles. When issue 150 came out, I got a triple of the original and doubles of every variant they had.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've sold all that stuff. I don't think I did them anymore. I sold each variant copy and the 150 on its own for like $100 twice, which is pretty decent.
I showed you that variant for X-Men 1, right? The ones with all those Jean Greys, like all her different
Yeah, dude, I
portrayals.
love that shit. That's probably gonna be like the only ones made in America. It costs like $2 million to get.
Have you seen the Stanley Lau variant?
Mm-mm.
I'll pull that. It's Miss Marvel, or sorry, I keep calling Miss Marvel, Marvel Girl.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, yeah. I think I have seen that in like the new
Her
Marvel
walking
Girl
through the
attire.
Krakoa portal
Yes, where
Yeah.
she's like in the green with the little
Mhm.
stupid Marvel Girl mask.
looks
yeah.
really good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the art looks cool, but I hate her design.
Really?
I hate the original Marvel Girl design. I think it's stupid. So many X-Men fans bitched so hard about X-Men Red and Jean's new like attire. Have you seen that? It was the red and blue like weird-ish, almost like football looking gear.
What?
Looked like she had like pads on the shit. I actually loved it. I thought it was incredible.
You're gonna have to show that to me.
I'll show you too in a bit. Most people hated it, from what I gather, but I loved it. But even before then, like I like her original attire. I like the animated series attire. But man, the Marvel Girl dress with the stupid little gold face mask, I don't like it at all.
They're bringing the X-Men original series or the animated series to Disney Plus.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna rewatch that again for the
Okay.
30th time.
For the 50th. I think
30th.
yet again
Yeah.
I stopped watching it when it was out because I missed it. I missed an episode, and I'm usually like one of those persons I try to catch a rerun, and I never did. Did I just say rerun?
Rewind.
Rerun. Rerun. No.
You should definitely check it out. It's the best adaptation in motion we've ever gotten of X-Men. It's better than any of the movies.
That's one of my favorite '90s lines of all time. Where like,
Maybe not better than
where
Logan. but
Wolverine
still.
cuts the top off of this car. He's like, "Tell Cyclops I made him a convertible."
Dude, Logan is awesome in that. That's the best depiction in motion we have of Rogue. Gambit's depiction is perfect.
I
in
mean,
it.
has there ever been a really bad portrayal of Logan?
Yeah,
What?
Hugh Jackman. Well, no, I mean, we only have like 2 portrayals: the cartoon, which was awesome, and then Hugh Jackman, who was also awesome. He was in a couple bad movies, but he was always good.
I like the fact that he can outduel someone like Silver Samurai. That's
Yeah,
what
'cause-
he fucking does is
'cause
fight
he's
with swords, but
Logan.
Wolverine fucking wins.
Yeah, because he's Logan.
because
bro.
he's just everybody's. Sorry, everybody's favorite.
You got so hyped you started coughing there. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I think he's probably the second most recognizable Marvel character. Period. After Spider-Man, everybody knows who Wolverine is. Even if like you're not familiar with the X-Men, you see Wolverine like, oh no, that guy. Especially even more so now after the Hugh Jackman stuff.
Oh yeah,
Like, he's so recognizable.
I saw him in like Africa around these kids, and someone just like did the whole claw thing. He's like, yeah, that's me.
He's like, I'm that guy. Pleased to meet you.
He also probably has like the most well-known onomatopoeia from comics.
What?
Snicked.
Oh yes. I love that, dude. So yeah, back on track. Spidey's back in the MCU with only 2 movies. It's Spider-Man 3 and 1 MCU appearance.
Which is where he'll probably go into the Spider-Verse.
Yes, yep,
Everyone keeps thinking
So I
that.
was about to say, it's because Kevin Feige kind of breadcrumbed it in the fucking announcement that the deal's done. He said that Spider-Man is a unique character in that he is the only hero to exist in 2 movie universes simultaneously, the MCU and the Sony universe. They essentially confirmed in the press release that Sony will be making Spider-Man content as well with Tom Holland with this Spider-Man while he's in the MCU. I'm going to go ahead and assume that we get the 3rd Spider-Man to wrap up his solo story in the MCU, and then the one movie that he's going to have in the MCU is going to be either a Doctor Strange or a Captain Marvel movie that is somehow going to transport him to another reality, which will be the Sony universe, without killing him off. He will leave somehow, and everyone knows that he left, so it's not like, oh, he's just gone, you know what I mean? To go do the Sony universe. That's what I expect to happen. Which sucks, because Tom Holland is like 12, and he can play this role for another 50 years. Like, realistically, he could be Spider-Man for another 15 to 20 years, right? The kid's only like
What?
early 20s.
I mean, yeah, I guess if they actually do go into like the adult Peter
Yeah,
Parker.
he could be another 15, 20 years of Spider-Man, and it sucks that we're going to get 2 more MCU
I don't
versions.
know if he could do 15 years, man.
Bro, the kid's young.
He'd be noticeably aging.
Yeah, you could do older Spider-Man. You just age the character with him as it goes and age the stories. It's not hard. You don't have to fucking reboot everything. Hugh Jackman played Wolverine for like 20 years.
We're talking about comic books. They reboot everything every 2 years.
Yeah, but they don't have to. That's true. And more like every month. They don't have to in the movie universe, especially not with Tom Holland. If it stays profitable, like, man, I don't know.
I don't know, man. I think Andrew Garfield was better.
No, you don't. You don't think that.
He's way too much of a pretty boy.
Andrew Garfield was very good, but he was a 40-year-old in high school. It was really, like, jarring.
What? You not look.
He's over 30. He's over 30 years old, and when he did the Amazing Spider-Man, he did not look like he should have been in high school. Like, not even close.
Okay, I know this is like getting wildly off topic, but High School Musical had like a fucking 35-year-old girl playing a high schooler.
I'm sure, man. Yeah, I'm sure. They're never accurate like that, because if it is, it's like, it's weird to watch.
I'm pretty
it.
sure Hannah Montana's brother in that show was like fucking 38 as well, playing like
I'm a
16
senior.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
you are a
senior
senior.
citizen.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Do you think when he goes to the Sonyverse, it will be like an actual Spider-Verse with like Spider-Gwen and like Spider-Man Noir and stuff, or just more solo films?
I don't think so. I hope so. But I think they're going to keep a lot of that stuff in the animated universe to have its own identity, which sucks that Spider-Gwen is there. I love Spider-Gwen, and that Miguel 2099 is also there. It's like, man, I want to see them on screen, and as well as Miles Morales. You know, like, it's kind of lame. But if Sony really is trying to expand their Spider-Verse and do movies, they can't just have like 7 movies about villains and like 1 Spider-Man movie.
True.
Because they're making like a Morbius movie. They've got the Venom movie.
Oh yeah. I
They
forgot
can't
about that.
just keep doing villain movies. Spider-Man's got to have the forefront, right? And Tom Holland can't be in like everything. It's not physically possible. So they will have to introduce other Spider-Man at some point. And Miles is already familiar with the audience is already familiar with him now from Into the Spider-Verse. Miles exists in the same universe and continuity as Peter Parker. So he's an easy one to bring into live action. And I'd love to see that.
Spider-Man is easily like Marvel's version of Batman because he has like 30 fucking series going on.
Yeah, did it all times.
Yeah.
And there's a whole like spider multiverse.
And I'm not even exaggerating.
No, you're not. You're
like
definitely
when
not.
I looked up like the total like Batman universe comics, there's legitimately like 30.
Yeah.
Do you hear that? I think he got Catwoman pregnant, so he's having another kid. Yeah. I was like, yes, that's what we need. More Bat family members because it's
Right?
already not like large enough.
I mean, I'm not going to complain too much. I love Batman. I love the Bat family. It's easily my favorite universe in DC.
I
It's his
did
whole
until I
universe.
found out how many people are in it.
Dude, it's insane.
Yeah, it's
Bat family's nuts. Lucius Fox's
like,
kid.
how are you keeping your secret?
Lucius Fox has a son, Batwing. He's in the Bat
He's
family.
becoming Batman.
Yeah, that's what everyone thinks. Is that confirmed yet? That it will be him?
It's not confirmed, but everybody just knows.
Yeah.
I know it's pretty much confirmed because they said that Batman will become black.
Yeah, they're gonna have like a black Batman, which like I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool with that as long as it like is a character that makes sense for it.
I'm
A
mostly
new
fine with
creation-
it. I just wish they would give Tim Drake the mantle for a little bit.
Eh.
I feel like everyone's just forgotten about him.
Tim Drake can't have the mantle, bro. After being Red Hood for so long, it can't happen.
That's Jason Todd.
Oh, yeah, I'm a fucking idiot. Wow, you're right. Yeah, Tim Drake is. Oh no, Tim Drake is a new name now. Did you not hear about that?
That's Red Robin.
No, it's
Well,
Drake.
come on now.
So in the Teen Titans or Titans, one of the two, comic that's going right now, they were in some dark multiverse, and there was a dark multiverse version of all of them. And like I didn't read this series, so I don't know if they were battling them or what was going on. But the Tim Drake in that multiverse called himself Drake, and
Of the
people were
99 Dragons.
people were kind of like, "That's kind of stupid." And he's like, "Well, the Drake is like the most aggressive bird there is, apparently." He's like, "And it's my name, and it immediately tells people who I am and what I'm about." And so Tim Drake, the good one, had heard that, and he like apparently kind of didn't like it at first. But when they went back to their to his universe, he was telling people about it. And then I guess they could kind of see that he kind of liked it because he wouldn't stop talking about it. So they just started calling him Drake. So that's his name now. It's just Drake. He's not Red Robin. He's not Robin. He's not Tim Drake. Drake is his superhero name, which is kind of dumb. It would be okay if
I
his, if his
honestly
name
kind of
wasn't
like that
Tim
better
Drake.
than Red Robin because I thought
mean,
Red,
Red
Robin
Robin
was
is
pretty
stupid.
stupid.
The design is awesome. I love the design of Red
Yeah.
Robin, but the name is dumb. Yeah, but I don't know what. For some reason, I thought you meant fucking Red Hood as Batman. I was like, the fundamentally completely opposing ideals of how to
Yeah,
go out superhero
exactly.
can't be Batman, but Drake could be, I guess. Yeah, I mean, fucking Nightwing got to do it, so
Yeah, and Azrael and motherfucking Jim Gordon.
yeah, it's true. It's true. Grayson's Batman was pretty cool though.
Everyone's been
pretty on
Batman
point.
at some point.
Yeah.
Except for Tim Drake. Because I know in Deceased,
Are
since Batman got infected, oh God.
You still reading that?
Damian Wayne. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
reading it. Damian Wayne is taking up the mantle.
Yeah, why can't he be Batman, dude? Damian's awesome.
He isn't deceased.
He never complains about anything. He's so cool.
I think people would notice that Batman shrunk like 4 feet.
Right? And then constantly whined. Sorry to you, Damian. Sorry to you, Damian Wayne fans out there. I don't dislike
All
the character,
6 of you.
but he does get on my nerves at times. Like they use him.
I
as,
like him better than Jason Todd.
They use him as a way just to complain, dude. Not me. Jason Todd's. Well, I mean, Jason Todd now is awesome.
Jason Todd. My
love
only
Red
complaint
Hood.
with Jason Todd is like, how the hell is Batman tolerant of him just going out and killing people?
Because Batman feels like it's. I mean, it not feels like Batman knows it's his fault that he's that way
How?
because he couldn't save him. So Batman feels like it's his
The
fault.
one time he failed in like all 500 crimes he stopped.
The one time he failed, he died.
Well, you know what?
Jason
Shit
Todd was
happens.
murdered by the Joker because of his association with Batman, and Batman could not help him.
Shit
He
happens,
failed.
man. No, it's not his fault. It's the fans' fault. They voted for him to die.
That's very true. The fans did vote. It's categorically the fans' fault. Harley needs to pop in and be like, hey, well, you're in a comic. It's the fans' fault. Stop being so sad, Bats, and then
Yeah.
pop back out. And she's like the only person that could do that in their universe.
All right,
Except like Lobo. I think he breaks the fourth wall.
going back to Spider-Man.
So yeah, 2 movies. That's definitely what's going to happen is I fully believe it's going to be him going into another universe.
Okay. I heard that they're making a Spider-Ham TV series on the Disney Plus app.
They're definitely not. They can't do that.
Why?
They don't own the rights.
You sure about that?
Sony owns the fucking rights to Spider-Man content.
All of it?
There is some small caveat that Disney can make something that's TV related. I don't remember if it's animated or if it's live action, but it has to be a certain length or it can't be longer than a certain length. But they also, it still limits them on the bunch of characters they can use.
Well, other than that, I think they're also creating like a 2099 series.
That's definitely not possible.
Not just Spider-Man 2099. I think just like all sorts of Marvel characters like
you watch that
2099.
Comics Explain thing? Is that why you're saying this?
I didn't watch it. I've just heard it.
No. Well, it's conjecture from, I watched the video. It's conjecture from the guy from Comics Explain. Like, there is no proof or rooted in reality. It just seems to make sense with how they're setting things up, and they could be moving in that direction, but there is no proof whatsoever right now. I think it's a cool idea. I'd be all about that. But it'd be weird to have a 2099 universe and not have Miguel in it, who's like the face of the 2099 universe.
I think it's Punisher 2099. That's the face.
It's definitely
I know,
Spider-Man
I know.
2099.
I've heard Punisher 2099. I'm like, how the fuck is he still like kicking it?
Dude, Frank Castle doesn't die.
Yeah, he's just the man that's so angry that he just refuses to die.
Yeah. He's like, no, there's still
Too
bad.
pissed off
There's
to
still
die.
people left to kill.
I saw Daredevil like 2099. I hated that outfit. That looks stupid as hell in my opinion.
Doom 2099 looks cool. He looks almost the exact same.
I mean, his just so iconic. What
Yeah.
would you change? He
Ev-
has the
ev-
best.
I'd
He has
change
the best
everything.
armor there is anyway.
I'd change everything about him. I'd make
Okay.
Franklin Doom because he's so cool. Oh, God.
Do you know anything about Doom apparently torturing kids?
No, but actually, I don't know if I could see that.
I've also heard that apparently he raped somebody.
man, that's weird. Doom is like the way that I see Doom and the way that I've seen him drawn and like not drawn necessarily, but used in the comics, right? Doom is just one step over basically the line of villainy, right? If Doom
He's chaotic good.
If Doom wasn't so egotistical, he would be a superhero.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing that stops him. Like he does a lot of good. He holds Latveria together. True, he rules it in like a dictatorship fashion, but he holds an entire nation together and supports it. You know what I mean? Like, and they don't necessarily have terrible they don't have terrible lives living in Latveria.
I'm pretty sure they love him.
It's not like communist China. Like it's not awful. I'm sure it's not the best. You know what I mean? But Doom has also done tons of things to help out, to like help save the world and the universe multiple fucking times because if everything just gets destroyed, he can't rule Earth like he wants. Like if he wasn't so egotistical, he would be a hero. It's the same kind of thing as like, fuck man, who was it? Oh, it just had in my head. They're like one step away from actually being a hero. Lex Luthor. If he didn't hate Superman, he'd be a superhero. He'd be a good guy. That's like all that keeps him on that side. It's like he just can't trust Superman and he hates him.
Because he hates the fact that people just rely on him. He wants people to be more like
it's rooted in
independent.
jealousy. And it's rooted in jealousy and ego.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
If he could just get over that, he would be a superhero. I've always seen Doom kind of the same way, even though he's done some truly barbaric things. Because like you got to push the limits, and like when he's a villain, you got to come fully villainize him. Like they've done the same thing to Magneto. If Magneto wasn't so hateful, he would be a hero.
Are you going to want to cover the Doom series that's coming out next week?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested.
Okay.
I like Doom. Especially if he's going to be killing kids. Let's do it. All right, so let's move on. Spidey's in the MCU. We're happy about that. I was about 90% sure it was going to happen regardless anyway. Like, they're going to come to a deal here. It's not going to get... He's not going to stay out. They got too much to finish. So this the Joker movie is coming out, I believe, this week.
And it's going to be the end of days.
And there's huge controversy. Kind of huge. I don't even know if it's huge, man. But there's controversy about it, and I wouldn't say it's unfounded because I kind of do understand where they're coming from, but I also think that a lot of people that are coming from this direction, I get the sense that they don't read comics, nor, like, none of them have seen the movie either. So a lot of the controversy I'm hearing is people are concerned that it is maybe not the best idea in today's climate, in this day and age of, like, all the crazy shit that's going on, to put out a movie like The Joker that glorifies a character like that and follows him as our hero.
I wouldn't even say it glorifies it. It's more like they sympathize with him.
Sympathizing is it's the same thing. It's just as bad. So like, no, hold on, just hear me out here. So, and I say make him a hero. He's not necessarily a hero, right? So even if he's a bad person in the film, he's the character we follow. So he is by default the protagonist. He's the character we're supposed to empathize and sympathize with, even if he's an evil piece of shit the whole time. We're still supposed to have a feeling towards him. Otherwise, no one's going to be able to watch the movie if it's just cold, right? Like, no one's going to care. There has to be something that you can connect with the central character, and he's the central character. Why do you think there were so many people? There's so many people, like, yeah, it's a joke, but there's so many people that are like, Thanos was right. Because he was the central character of Infinity War, and they made him sympathetic in a way that was like you almost kind of saw his side.
That was mostly a meme, I think.
Dude, maybe, but I've seen it so much, and like I myself can watch that movie and can kind of see where Thanos is coming from. I don't agree with the methods, but I understand the rationale.
There's so many villains like that, though.
Yeah, but if the Joker is not that kind of villain, though, he's not some ultra hyper thinking person who may be altruistic in the end. He's a fucking psychopath who's a murderer, murders children, rapes people. He's an awful,
Who the
awful
hell
character.
has he raped?
He rapes Barbara fucking Gordon.
Okay, that was like not explicitly stated. It's like somewhat hinted
The
at.
only reason it's not stated is because they probably were not allowed to actually say it by the comics code, but he 100%
I don't
did
see
it.
the Joker ever being motivated by sex whatsoever.
He's not motivated by sex, but he knows it's going to get to Gordon, which in turn will get to Batman. And that was his entire intention.
I mean, yeah, I could
He
see
will do
that, but I don't
anything
know.
to
I've
torture
always
Batman.
disagreed with that.
He murdered Jason Todd, tortured and murdered Jason Todd to get a Batman. He had no qualms with Jason Todd. You think a guy that does that has any qualms about rape? You think he even sees rape as rape? He doesn't. It's just another act, another means. He doesn't care.
I don't know.
So take a character like that and put him in the spotlight, and then potentially, granted, no one has seen the fucking movie, so no one can say if this is right. And to possibly empathize or ask the audience to sympathize with someone like that, I don't know. I don't have
I think
that.
people are just really overreacting.
I'm not jumping the gun. I don't have that viewpoint. I understand that side of it. However, I think in the end, the movie's going to be a character study, right? So, like, it's so much of the movie seems to be influenced by Taxi Driver and by The King of Comedy. I watched both those movies, and at no point did I sympathize or empathize with those two awful people. They were character studies, and it was just how someone can be taken to the brink, which is what it's going to be with Joker. It's people have to remember, too, this is a different story, right? This is not rooted in the comics or any of the movies, so his past is not going to be the same. He is becoming the Joker, so it's possible he hasn't done anything really bad in the movie yet, like in his life, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't become a terrible person. Like, he might be unhinged and just waiting for something to push him over the edge, but he hasn't done anything yet. And you got to look at it through that lens, I think. I don't know. To me, and Joaquin Phoenix even spoke about it, and he was like, essentially like, I think people are smart enough to know right from wrong.
No shit.
Obviously, not everybody is, but people are going out to watch this fucking movie. You should be able to discern that.
I think more than anything, it's just people associating it still with the Aurora shooting and how that guy was supposedly
Apparently
motivated
said
by
he was
Joker,
the Joker or something. Yeah,
I don't know. I think people might have exaggerated that.
I think it's possible.
Even if it's not the case, like, that's just one thing. And by people putting out their fear...
I mean, just one thing, like you broke, it was an awful event.
I mean, yeah. I'm just saying, like...
But yeah, I know, I get what you're saying. It's not like every month people are going out dressed up like Joker and trying to kill people.
People think there's going to be, like, fucking widespread violence because of this movie. But by
highly
putting out, like, your fear, you're, like, motivating people to potentially do that.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about it like that. That's very true.
I've heard people trying to say, like, if you're going to see the movie, don't do it with, like, a couple or something because it might... I don't know. I hate the fact that people are trying to fucking, like, make the Joker, like, a mascot for, like, the incel movement.
Yeah, I do hate that, too. And that is what a lot of, like, the complaints or worries I see about it is, like, you're giving incels a platform and a voice. Like, no, I mean, not really. You are.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you have just put him on top of that, right?
You're borderline validating them.
Exactly. Like... Because it's because they think we're going to watch this movie about this deranged psychopath and we're going to be asked to empathize with them and see their point of view. I don't necessarily think the movie's going to be like that.
No.
I don't think it's what it's going to be about. I think it's going to be a character study of what drives a person over the edge. I think that's what it's going to be. And we've had a billion movies like that already.
Mm-hmm.
Taxi Driver, The King of Comedy, the two movies that inspired this so heavily are the exact thing. It's just with a character that people are familiar with now. It's someone everybody knows, the Joker. And it's like, oh, no, what? We can't have sympathy for the Joker. We can't do that.
We live in a society.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that fucking meme that everyone associates with Joker as well.
What?
It's just like that's the bottom text of it. Like, we live in a society where, like, you know, they're trying to act like they're victimized by, like, the majority of people.
No. I mean...
It's just... The only people that idolize Joker are fucking edgelord teenagers for the most part anyway.
Why are you insulting me right now? I mean, yeah, I love the Joker as a character because of the concept and ideal of Joker, right? It's awful.
Yeah,
it's awful.
Exactly.
But it's a great foil for Batman. And it's an awesome foil for a character like Batman who's not even entirely a good person.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
he's
the Joker is so bad that it makes Batman look like he's the shining beacon of light. And it's like, Batman's pretty messed up, y'all. He's not exactly the best person, and he is terrible at training and raising people.
I don't know. He has a pretty damn good following.
And I don't... fundamentally, that does not make any sense. Like, how do they look at this guy and be like, he's fucked up? Help me out, bro. You can't even help yourself. Help me out.
Because they're also orphans.
I mean, yeah, true. But then he, like, I don't know, man. They get raised and they turn out worse.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
For the most part.
But like that's the dichotomy of Batman and Joker that makes Joker so great. Joker as a standalone character, like by himself on his own adventures, like I've never been that into it. He needs that foil for me to really enjoy it. And as well as like me personally, because I'm such a huge Harley fan, I hate that aspect completely. I do not like anything that has to do with fucking Harley and the Joker being a combo. I hate it. Always have. Even like when that's all we had, I still hated that, but I was still enamored by the character.
I hope people won't think that like. I hope people understand what I'm saying. I actually like the relationship because it shows like how bad that relationship can be.
True, yeah, it shows the full extent of an abusive relationship.
I love Harley as a character too, but I've never understood how she can still go out and be on her own and still wear that outfit and everything and not be associated with
she
him.
Doesn't though.
What? She's always like still pale and like has the red lipstick and like dyed hair and everything.
Yeah, no, I mean, okay, so what's kind of annoying is when they use her in like continuity, right? Because her solo series is it's not in the current continuity. It's not in canon. She's in her own continuity.
Okay.
So when they use her in like other stuff, like Tom King was a fucking idiot. But when he brought her into like Crisis and shit, and she still looked like Harley from like '93, why? What's going on here? The character is so far like past that and different now. Why is she dressing the same? And a lot of shit like Suicide Squad, which is continuity, she does not dress like that. She wears like fucking shorts, sometimes jean shorts, or like like tights, not tight on your body, which I mean they are, but like tights shorts with like a top. She doesn't wear the singlet and the unitard at all anymore. She doesn't wear the hat anymore at all.
I
So
wasn't
it's
really
completely
talking
different.
about like the unitard or like outfit. I'm talking about like her aesthetic, like her skin still being pale and like still looking like a clown.
Well, from like the fucking continuity of it, man, like she's been dyed too. She
Like,
can't change
went
it.
into the toxin.
Yeah,
or
like
whatever.
she can't change it.
When the hell did that happen?
I could not tell you for certain, and I don't know if it's like that in every continuity.
'Cause I always thought it was
'Cause
body paint.
There will be a lot of times that you see someone draw Harley out of like character, and she's like tan.
Okay.
But then there's other times you'll see someone draw Harley out of costume and character, like getting out of the shower, and she's stark white. So it's like kind of up to the artist whether they want to like obey that continuity or not, which is kind of dumb. They all need to do the same thing because it gets confusing.
I don't know. I still like her being with him
I hate
sometimes,
it.
but just
Fuck it.
because like it still shows like, I don't know, it makes him even more sinister.
It does, but it makes her even weaker. It makes her such a weak-willed character, especially now that we've seen that she contains
But
the
why is
ability
that
to be
like a
strong
bad
enough.
characterization? It's not promoting it or glorifying it.
It kind of is. It
I
wasn't.
guess-
It certainly
I
wasn't
guess
in the
for
beginning.
certain people, yeah, but I've never thought of it like that.
It certainly did in the beginning of the relationship. Like I think Paul Dini's a great writer. I think he's a fucking genius. But I think he went about that entirely the wrong way. That's the guy that created Harley. He was like the head person on the Batman the Animated Series.
I don't know. All it does for me is if anyone says that they idolize like the Joker and Harley,
You got
like,
problems.
Yeah, exactly.
You got problems.
I
And they're
immediately
like,
just
couple goals. No, bro.
Yeah.
Not couple goals.
it allows me to just completely just I don't know ignore their opinions on
Yeah.
anything.
It's immediately like, okay, well, you have a skewed view. I'm not so sure we're gonna agree.
All right, you
I
need
don't
to be on a
think-
watch list.
Yeah, I don't think we need to talk anymore. But yeah, I don't know. With the whole Joker thing, man, I really don't think it's gonna be what people are all up in arms about. I don't think that's what the movie is.
No, people are definitely blowing it out of proportion. I think it's mostly just I don't know a bunch of Karens.
A bunch of Karens. I just can't believe that director and that actor would get together and make that fucking movie. Like willfully be
I
like,
also think it's
that's
just
a great idea. Let's
fucking
glorify this.
pathetic that in this fucking day and age, someone actually had to put out a statement like, "This isn't promoting violence." I'm like, well, no fucking doubt. It's a goddamn movie.
Is it promoting violence? Yeah, I mean, it's annoying that they have to come out and be like, we don't want you to kill people. That's not why we made it.
Oh, thanks. Let me put away my AR-15 now.
Your assault rifle. It's not even what AR stands for. People are so stupid. Not that I'm like all gun person, but like, man, learn basic facts. That's all you have to do. Basic fucking facts.
What does AR stand for then?
It stands for the name of the company that makes it, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm 99% positive. I could be, like I just said, I'm not like ultra gun person, but it absolutely does not stand for assault rifle. People are fucking dumb.
Oh no! If Call of Duty
That's
taught
the-
me anything,
That's the awful media. That's the awful people in media that don't do research and just want shock headlines.
Oh yeah, because they just want to rush out
Yeah.
the push
Assault
things out
rifle
first.
15. Why is it 15? Now the title literally like
It's
makes
just the
even less
15th
sense.
version.
Yeah, it's like it makes even less sense now. Like it's not what it means. People are stupid, and it's also not. It's not by the classification. It's not an assault rifle. It can't be classified as that. That's how it's able to be sold to regular people legally.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Because it's not an
Duh.
assault classification. Assault rifles, assault weapons are fucking illegal, and they have been for like 30 years. They're illegal. You can't have them. How dumb are people? Simple
Besides, if
research.
someone really wanted one, they can obviously just make their own. I've seen plenty of people do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, dude,
It's kind of scary how easy it is.
it's the same thing with almost anything, dude. Just because there's a law about it doesn't fucking mean it gets followed.
Oh yeah,
It doesn't matter. You can outlaw anything you want.
it's just a way for them to actually punish someone more.
True, very true. And like it does curb things and make things less likely to happen because now there's full consequences behind
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
But if someone's gonna pick up a gun and go murder people, their mind is already set that their life is over.
Yeah.
Nothing's changing
I
that.
hate how like there's been members of my family like,
No law's changing that.
guns shouldn't be outlawed. I'm like, dude. He's
I
like,
don't think
well,
it should be
someone
outlawed.
just took a knife. I'm like, I guarantee you that person that shot like 50 people in Las Vegas from that rooftop would not be able to do that with a knife.
He's up there in the roof throwing them at people. I don't think that they should be outlawed at all. Like, I don't think it should be illegal for civilians to have guns. The reason that we are allowed to have them is to fight an oppressive government. The moment we don't have them, we no longer can do that. You know, the first thing that every oppression regime does is demilitarize and de-weaponize the population.
Yes.
That's the first thing they do.
I've
Allowing
been
the
of that
government to do
opinion as
that
well.
is an awful step. You what?
I say I've had that opinion for a while as well. Like
Yeah.
the only reason I would have one is oppressive government.
Exactly. The moment you let the government do that, that's an awful, awful precedent and a first step towards that. That's terrible. I think the gun laws and regulations, like even though I just said like they ultimately kind of don't matter, need to be about 1,000,000 times stricter than they are.
Let's be real, though.
Should not be easy.
The only reason why
I
people
should not
are
be allowed to go to
own
Walmart
guns
and buy a shotgun.
is because in colonial times everyone lived 50 fucking miles apart,
Right, yeah.
and had to fucking protect their land.
That's very true. Very true. Protect their
And
land and
besides,
protect the government.
Nobody
against the
saw
government.
that you would have a gun that could fire 600 rounds in like a matter of minutes.
Yeah, well, I mean, but normal people don't have that.
No.
Everyday people can't have that. Like, again, that's illegal,
It's still somewhat surprisingly easy to obtain, though.
and it shouldn't be.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm getting at. It should be very hard.
I saw a video the other day of someone trying to fucking like practice their right to carry.
Mhm.
God damn, I'm surprised this dude didn't get shot. So he had like a ski mask, he had like fucking like vest on and stuff, and he had like an assault rifle just strapped to his chest and walked into the police station and immediately like 5 cops were like, get on the ground. He's
Yeah,
like,
how
I'm
dumb
practicing
are
my
you?
rights. I'm like, dude,
You're
were
wearing
dressed like a
ski
fucking
mask.
terrorist.
Yeah. I'm practicing my rights. I guess he's too stupid to know all of his rights.
You
or
are
to
allowed
know
to carry
common
stuff
sense.
like that, but my God, like, just know that you're going to have the cops called on you within a matter of minutes because people are going to think that you're going to kill somebody.
What's asinine to me, the most asinine part about that is his statement of, "I'm just exercising my rights." So are the cops in that exact moment when they are suspicious of you because you are concealing your identity. That's immediate suspicion, and now they can interrogate you. They can do what they need to do. So they're also exercising their rights. And if they were to have shot you, they were exercising their rights because you are threatening.
And how would you not just expect that?
How
Why would you
can
want
be
to
that dumb?
risk that?
How can you be that dumb? Dude, it's those kind of people. Oh, the reason people are like outlaw guns.
Yes.
Because of those kind of morons.
I'd be fucking scared if I saw someone doing that.
Dude, if I'm in Walmart and some dude walks into the ski mask
I'm
with,
running the opposite
with
way.
an AR in his back, I'm like, yo, it's time to get out of here, bro. I knew it was the wrong day to come.
Yeah, right.
This is why I don't go to Walmart. My God, dude. It's insane. All right, so let's move on from that. Let's get a little lighthearted here and talk about Between Two Ferns. So Zach
Galifianakis.
what is his name? Zach Galifianakis has this web series on Funny or Die called Between Two Ferns, where he interviews celebrities, and it's always extremely uncomfortable and awkward. And they're all really short. They're just several minute long clips is all they are. And it's just him being uncomfortable and awkward essentially until they leave or they get in a fight. Like that's all it is. Like his character has like zero self-awareness and he doesn't know what he's doing really. He's a moron.
He says zero self-awareness, but he seems to intentionally be rude.
I mean, I guess I think it's evolved into that, but in the beginning he definitely to me seemed like he had no self-awareness. Like he's just an idiot.
Yeah. He seems to not enjoy himself when he interviews
He's
them.
an antagonistic idiot at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they decided it was a good idea to make a movie out of this and give a full fucking plot to it on Netflix. And I'm not going to lie, when I first saw the trailer, I was like, oh my God, it's Between Two Ferns movie. And I was caught up in it. I was like, this is going to be so great. And it didn't dawn on me until about 10 minutes in the movie. And like when I was watching until I was like, oh yeah, no, this is not great. This is a bad idea. We have pretty different views on this apparently. This is like, I think the first time we talk about a movie where I'm utterly going to be like, I fucking hated it. I hated this movie. It was like a 1 or 2 out of 10 to
What
me.
about when
It
we
was
talked
garbage.
about the Ballad of
Ricky Bobby?
no, not the fucking Western movie.
Oh, the Comb movies? I didn't hate that movie. I liked it. It
It
wasn't
like the first 3 sketches, but
it wasn't like amazing and like most
damn it, what was the title of that?
the Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Buster Scruggs.
Yeah,
Yes.
like 3 of those sketches were really good and the other 3 were like not really that interesting. I'd probably give like a 6 out of 10, maybe a 7, but like it
Okay,
wasn't
but this
awful.
one you actually just
this was
hated.
fucking terrible, dude. Like I hated it. I legitimately fell asleep with 20 minutes left and had to rewatch the last 20 minutes today, and I watched it like a week ago.
I will say for the first 15 minutes of this, I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this.
It's not good.
I thought about just watching the interviews, which
interviews
would
are
amount
awesome.
to a total of about 30 minutes, maybe.
If that.
Yeah.
The interviews are awesome. Like when it does that in the movie, it's great.
They were all extremely short, too.
Yeah. Will Ferrell gives easily the least interesting character he's ever had, and the worst performance he's ever had. He was terrible in this movie.
Did you watch that movie where he had a yard sale?
Nope, never heard of it.
God, I need to look up the title of that. That movie was boring as fuck.
That's not Kicking and Screaming, is it?
No.
Is it like really old?
I think he had like a, I wouldn't say really old. It was in like 2011 or 12, I think.
Okay, no, not even close then.
I
I haven't seen Kicking or Screaming, but it's like a movie he did a long time ago. I think Will Ferrell was in that. I could be wrong.
thought it was kind of funny.
You
when
talking
he
about the
got out of-
house with him and Amy Poehler, where they have like the casino thing in their basement?
No.
Okay.
I think this is him. Like, I think he got a divorce and maybe lost his job or something. He's just kind of selling all of his possessions.
And that's the whole movie?
Pretty much.
Man, it's not good.
No.
Is it supposed to be a comedy?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so. I don't.
Not
I barely
really.
remember anything from it, so that
Was
tells
that-
you how
was
much
that
I
good?
cared about that movie.
Dude, that's how I'm gonna be with Between Two Ferns in about 2 weeks. I'm like, oh, that was a movie. That's right.
Yeah, I'm already kind of going there.
I did not. Like
I didn't
It.
hate it. I thought it was not necessarily worth a watch.
It definitely wasn't
but
worth a
it's like
watch.
it's decent background noise.
No, I wouldn't even go that far, dude. Like, don't watch it. Don't give the click to Netflix to give the view to make them think that you want more of this.
I mean, if they
It's terrible.
people can still give ratings.
People are dumb. No, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, people
I
are
hated
listening
it.
to us.
Yeah, that's very true. People obviously aren't that bright to listen to this fucking podcast. These two idiots up here, these fat morons. Yeah, I really didn't like it, man. And I love the web series. I like Zach Galifianakis. He's all right.
See, really is the opposite because I've only seen a few of his like, I don't know, videos from the web series.
I've
or
seen every
whatever.
one of them.
Damn,
I
really?
love that web series. It's hysterical.
See, I never loved it.
I loved it.
I don't know. I've always been the person that was like, I've been disappointed with Zach Galifianakis in everything that's not in Oh
Don't
God!
you dare say The Hangover.
There we go. The
Those
Hangover.
fucking movies are awful.
The first one.
The first one's okay. It's not even that good. The second two are terrible.
Maybe it's because I was in high school. Yeah, that's when I watched
Yeah,
it.
probably,
I loved it.
Probably. I did not like him. The first one's okay. I like him as a stand-up comedian. I don't think he's actually done
Jesus.
that many movies where he's very good in them, to be
I
honest
think I
with
saw one of his stand-up specials.
Dude,
and
the
I was
one
like,
the
man, he
Purple Lounge
fucking
or whatever
drinks
it's
a
called
lot.
is hilarious.
He drinks quite a bit.
Yeah. Dude, he's so funny. And he does his stand-up sets where he opens as his brother. Is the
Yeah,
opening act,
I
and then
was-
other people come out, and then he'll come out as himself at the end. Dude, it kills me.
I was confused as fuck when I first saw that. I was like, does he
What's-
actually have a twin?
No, he just apparently doesn't actually have a beard. It's just the most realistic beard of all looking beard of all time.
Really?
Yeah, he like puts a fake beard on to be Zach Galifianakis, from my understanding, because his brother is completely clean shaven. He's not.
Oh, yeah, you're
he's not
right.
shaving before the show and growing a full beard in the next hour. You know,
I
like
don't know, man. That might be his X-Men power.
Zach Galifianakis is a mutant, the most useless power of all, to grow a beard instantly. Can look older.
I mean, at least he can keep his face warm.
Yeah, I guess so. No hypothermia for this guy.
Just keeps growing it until he just wraps it all around himself. It's like, I'm warm for the winter.
But overall, man, I didn't like the movie. The best part of the movie is the credits, and I'm not just saying that because it was over, is because of all the outtakes are hysterical.
They were pretty
They're
good.
so fucking funny, dude.
I do agree with you there.
Those outtakes are really good.
I liked how much he cared for his ferns.
He didn't though. Did you not see the ending?
Well, I'm talking about like throughout the movie, like
I mean,
before
I
the
guess.
ending.
The
Like
one
when the studio is like drowned or like getting flooded or
Right.
whatever. He's just
he's
"Oh, my
saving the
plants."
ferns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, he likes to. He wants to. He thinks they're the same ferns like since the beginning of the
That
show.
actually
He keeps
made me laugh
measurements
really
and stuff
hard.
on them.
When he was like measuring, he's like, "These seem different to you," and she was like, "I keep replacing them like every day." He's
like, "I don't know how
"They
to take
die."
care of these.
Yeah, I don't know how to take care of these. They die all the time. I keep replacing
Also,
them.
who was she? She looked very familiar.
I've
to
seen
me.
her in a lot of stuff. I don't remember her name. She was
Okay.
funny. But I don't know, man. The whole journey to like the whole premise of the movie is that like Will Ferrell plays Will Ferrell and he runs Funny or Die, and Zach Galifianakis wants to be a he wants to have his own talk show, like a national talk show, like The Late Show and shit like that. So Will Ferrell tells him that like he kind of doesn't want him to do it because he likes Between Two Ferns because like Zach's an idiot and it's like great ratings.
It gets him a lot of clicks.
And it gives him a lot of fun clicks. He's got like the click counter above his head. It's like in the trillions and shit. It's insane. But he, so he tells Zach that if he does like 15 interviews or
10.
something, 10 interviews for him, then he'll give him his talk show or whatnot. So he sets off on a quest to travel to all these people to get these interviews. And like,
He has to travel because his studio got flooded.
yeah, he floods too because he's in like, they
He's-
don't
what
take
was it,
care
like,
of it. They're idiots.
FPAT TV,
Yeah,
FPAT V,
something
Yeah,
like that.
It's like some sort of local TV show.
Yeah, he's on like PBS, like the local network.
That was probably my favorite joke in there. Is that one guy's like, and here's the tornado. He does that balloon or something. The balloon filled with smoke. He's like,
Yeah.
beat that shithead.
And he walks by him. Yeah. So like, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, you want to say once he sets off on the road, hilarity ensues, but not really. Like, sleep ensued for me. It's fucking terrible.
It is pretty damn mediocre.
It was pretty damn awful. It was awful.
I
hated
did
it.
not laugh hard at all, but I did get some nice little chuckles occasionally.
Then the conclusion is awful. He gets up there, he completes like his journey, delivers
That
the
was
10 things,
confusing to
and Will
me.
Ferrell's like, he messes with him. He goes, you know, you can't have them. He goes, I'm just kidding. You know, you got whatever he says, and like you got like fooled or whatever. But he like references a celebrity. I don't remember who it was. Who cares? Obviously, it was terrible. But he's like, you got the show. So he goes and does his talk show, and he has his first episode, and Gal Gadot is his first guest, and he like says this really awful joke, and the crowd goes in this like extended laughter where they don't stop, and he stands up and just like starts dancing, and it's really weird. And then the show ends and he walks backstage and his crew's like not happy because it's not the same thing. And like they want to leave after the first episode, so they leave. And then he goes with them. It made the entire film pointless.
Yeah, I did think that was an odd choice.
And he's like, all I need are my friends, my show, and my ferns. And he lays his ferns down, then a car hits him. And he's like, we'll just get more. He gets in the car and like the door ends.
He said, we're going to give you 4 ferns.
Yeah, 4 ferns. And it was so dumb. It was so dumb. It's like,
I thought that they were going to set it
know.
up for like a sequel where he does actually have a late show or whatever.
for a little while through the movie, I thought this was going to explain the evolution of the actual web series to where now after this movie, Between Two Ferns will look like a real thing, but it'll still be kind of the same deal.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was just like a really expensive way to be like, we're changing the show. But I guess
And
not.
the joke was like, so you're in Wonder Woman. I'm wondering, woman.
Yeah. I'm wondering, woman, how fun was that role? And it's like, oh, it's so fun. And then like everyone laughs and he stands up and dances. It's really weird.
I mean, Zach
Stupid.
Galifianakis thing is like somewhat on like the anti-comedy,
Somewhat,
kinda
yeah,
humor.
somewhat.
which I have never really found appealing in my opinion.
It is to me sometimes, but not necessarily all
I
the
was
time.
gonna say it has to be done right,
No, yeah, for sure.
which I can't even think of a good example.
Sometimes
like,
Zach
is
Galifianakis.
Mitch Hedberg? I don't know.
No, Mitch was just he was just dry and sarcastic. Like I don't think he was trying to be
Okay,
like
yeah,
the
that's-
antithesis of comedy.
Okay, Norm Macdonald.
Norm
That's what I was
Macdonald is kind of but Norm is smart enough to know that it's all in his delivery. Like
Oh,
a lot of
yeah,
the stuff he says
absolutely.
categorically isn't funny,
Yes,
but it's how he says it that
Mhm.
makes it so funny. I love Norm. I
he
think
is
he's
noticeably aging.
I think he's hilarious. Like his stand-ups kill me because he's just always one way.
He's mostly making fun of the audience.
Yeah, a lot of times, yeah,
Yeah.
dude. He's always just so like unenthusiastic, and it's like, so let me just tell you about this. It's just, I don't know, man. He's so. I think he's funny. His demeanor kills me.
Who was the comedian that was Jim Carrey portrayed in Man on the Moon?
Oh, Andy Kaufman.
Yes.
He was all about just fooling people.
I tried looking up his stuff and I was like, God, I hate this.
I think he's funny, but he was so committed to bits and acts that it didn't matter if the audience didn't like it.
Yeah.
He would just keep going.
I heard that he had like an alternate personality where he was a comedian that was just incredibly rude and drunk all the time or something.
No
And
one
they
knows if that
fired
was
him,
really him or not.
And then he came back a week later and just like, it can't be here. It's like, that wasn't me. That was that guy.
Right? Yeah, yeah. I can't remember the name of the character. The movie Man on the Moon like goes into it, but like he dressed up as this guy or whatever. And I don't remember the full story, but there's like controversy about it. It was something like people didn't know if it was actually him or if it was another person, because I'm pretty sure after Andy Kaufman died, that dude did a couple of shows. And they think it could have been Andy Kaufman's writing partner that dressed up as that character and went and played that character again to keep the mystique alive.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, like they don't
So
really
I love
know.
the fucking idea of
crazy.
what Kaufman did, but I don't know.
I think he was a genius, and it was just way too ahead of his time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like
Oh, there's a lot of comedians that are way ahead of their
he
time.
wouldn't have wanted
Like
it to
George
been
Carlin.
like right.
That's
yeah.
why he got arrested several times.
Yeah. I think at almost said George Carlin, that Andy Kaufman, like what he was doing would have worked perfect in like today's age for him to be like a Sacha Baron Cohen type,
Oh yeah.
like a Borat kind of thing. But I don't think he would have done it
Probably not.
because it wasn't like it was about fooling everybody to him. It wasn't about making a spectacle and a show of like, look what we did. It was literally about tricking you. That's all it was. So to wrap up Between Two Ferns, I don't want to spend really any more time on it unless you do.
Because I don't really have anything to say.
Yeah, I hated the movie. I would absolutely not recommend it, even if you're a big fan of the web series, which I am. It's extremely underwhelming.
If you like the series, just give it a try.
Yeah, I don't think you should. I do think if you can like a YouTube...
If you like Zach Galifianakis, I'd still say just give it a try at least.
No, definitely don't give it a try.
Jesus.
If you want to like, if you're able to YouTube and find, like don't do it to Netflix, don't give them the fucking view. But if you're able to go on YouTube and just find the ending credits to the movie, they're hilarious. They're really funny.
I will say the one saving grace for this movie is that Brie Larson's only in it for about 10 seconds.
Fuck
It would have
you,
been
dude.
better if she wasn't
You're
in
such
it
a
at all.
misogynist.
Yes, because I just hate this one chick.
You're an incel. Why is it you specifically don't like
Wow.
Brie Larson? Tell me.
I don't know, man. She just seems like someone that thinks high and mighty of herself, and like her opinion is just fact when she's just spewing other things I'm sure she's heard from other people.
So how many like interviews and stuff have you watched of Brie Larson? I'm seriously trying to figure this out.
Not many, because I don't really like her presence.
Okay, so how did you get this idea that that's her presence?
I did not. Okay, I never saw the interview where people say that like
I'm not
she
trying to
just
get at
hates
that.
on white men.
I'm
or
not trying to
whatever.
like trap you. I'm genuinely trying to ask, how did you get this thinking that she is this way? What made you think this?
I don't know.
begin
It's
with.
just like her demeanor.
That's so weird to me. But okay. I would highly suggest that you go and like watch actual interviews of Brie Larson, dude. She is so down to earth and humble. It's unfucking real.
I don't know. I
It's
don't see it
unreal.
like that.
She's extremely introverted and very shy and has really bad anxiety. And her interviews, sometimes she's really fucking quiet because she's like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah,
And
that's
me being
probably-
someone who has a lot of
That's probably
anxiety,
what it is.
I
Where
totally
so,
get that.
I
Where
can
like
tell that
I wouldn't want to be there either.
Maybe that's why I get the sense that she just.
She's definitely not. From everything I've seen about her, and I've been following Brie Larson for like 9-10 years now.
Also, I fucking just hated Captain Marvel.
You're such an idiot. I've been like a huge fan of Brie Larson since before she was ever in the spotlight. Ever in the spotlight. When
Also,
she was just
Unicorn
doing
Store
minor
was
roles.
also pretty much like my version of Beyond Two Ferns.
What?
Just boring as fuck.
What was?
The Unicorn Store. We talked about that.
I liked it. It was interesting. It wasn't great, but it was
So
interesting.
boring.
It was interesting. I fucking loved what's his head in it.
That being said, though, I still kind of want to check out Room.
Oh my god, I cannot believe you haven't seen that. You're gonna let your
I want to read the
dislike
book
for her.
first.
Oh, don't do that.
What?
Be surprised.
I could still be surprised. They probably still change certain things. I
know.
don't think you could change too much with that kind of premise, though.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know. I would highly advise watching the movie in this case first because it's so incredible. She's brilliant in that, dude. Oh my god, and it's got the best child performance of all time in it. The dude.
I've heard that
plays
she
her
wants
kid.
to play Samus Aran in a Metroid
She
movie,
yeah, she does.
which I still think would just be fucking dumb.
I think it'd be
Not
cool.
not her.
I think the
being
movie
cast
itself
as
would be
that.
dumb.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The bitch doesn't talk.
It's a big action spectacle with an android-looking thing that doesn't ever take its helmet off much. You know what I mean? Like it's a
Yeah.
person there, but it looks like it's not.
If it's accurate to the game, she'll take her helmet off at
the
last
end of the
15
movie.
seconds if she gets 100% rating.
The end frame is like she's just won the battle, takes her helmet off, and stands there. It's like this was pointless.
Yes.
Why did we watch
If
this?
they ever were to make a Metroid movie, it should be like a 15-minute animated spectacle.
No, if they do it, if they do it and cast someone huge, it'll be like the Stallone Judge Dredd, where they never wore their helmet, and it's like, why?
Yeah.
That was dumb.
Which I liked Dread, but I didn't love it.
I like Stallone's Judge Dredd. It's okay.
I've never seen that.
But Dredd, I thought was awesome.
It was like the American version of The
Of-
Room.
Yeah, The Room.
Oh, sorry, The Raid.
The Room. He's like, oh, I am Dredd. Oh, hi, bad guys. Yeah, it was essentially because they're just like battling up to this tower.
Yeah.
But dude, any opportunity to watch Lena Headey play just a snarky evil person, I'm there.
I thought that ending
It's
was
amazing.
dope, where he just makes her inhale that shit so she just falls in slow-mo. I was
That
like,
shit was
man, that's
dope.
messed up.
That was awesome. And it was Carl Urban as Dredd. That dude's always great.
His chin did great acting.
You know who Carl Urban is, right?
No.
He's Butcher from The Boys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was Dredd.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's amazing.
His chin did really good acting.
Yeah, his chin was great in that movie. I mean, that's how it should be. That's why
I
you
feel
don't
like
put a
that
big
had to
star
have
in
been
it.
painful with like how much he was frowning. I was like, I bet by the end of that, his face just
Show some
hurts.
emotion, bro. I can show you one. I mean, that's how you have to do that. You can't cast someone too big in a role like that because then they never wear the helmet.
I mean,
Like Stallone.
it's kind of like Tony Stark being an Iron Man. Like he still has a fucking ton of face time because they just show the inside of the helmet all the time. Which if you do
Yeah,
that
but
with
in the
Dredd,
comics,
if you did that with Dredd, that would be dumb.
exactly. Yeah, true. But in the comics, Tony Stark is like out of the suit all the time, so it's like it's not as dumb.
Oh no, I've never read an Iron Man comics.
Have you not?
I tried. Okay, when Marvel.
I mean, they're not
announced-
that great.
Yeah, that's what I assume.
And before people get super triggered because our precious Tony, like before 2008 in the MCU, Iron Man was not that popular of a character. He was a big deal in the Marvel because he's a founding Avenger. So he's always been a big character and part of the big picture. But his books didn't sell well. Like he was not that popular. It's because of the MCU, and now everyone's all like,
think they really sold
Iron
that
Man's
well.
the greatest, and like, no, he's not. He's a fucking human in a suit. You take that away, and he's nothing. He's just smart. That's it.
I tried reading like the first 3 or 4 issues of the Marvel Now.
Oh,
Iron
the
Man
Marvel
one
now
is-
was an awful
Oh,
lot.
yeah, it was
a lot
very
of their
bad.
No, period. As a relaunch, a lot of it was terrible. Marvel now was not that good.
I didn't. Okay, I pulled Deadpool, which was really good, and I pulled Thor, obviously the God Butcher or God of Thunder, and that was amazing. That was fucking incredible.
I didn't like it, man. I don't like Thor. He's not powerful enough. I love me some Thor. Thor's amazing.
Deadpool was also really good.
It's
They
unfortunate
had like one of the best arcs with like the good, the bad, and the ugly.
with Deadpool.
Yeah, but that had like him when he found out that he had a kid with this girl back in the 80s, and he's trying to like find that, try and save her and stuff. And he actually teams up with Captain America and Wolverine, and they're both like while they're running to the facility and stuff. Like I've never seen Deadpool be this quiet. This is
wow.
obviously something serious, which he was. Like he was actually pretty down to earth. That arc that was really cool.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool's a really hard series for me to read because he can be gotten wrong so easily.
Oh yeah.
Not gotten wrong. He can be made unbearable so easily. Like, oh man, it's so hard. I'm actually really excited for Kelly Thompson to start writing Deadpool because the little bit she used him in how Mr. and Mrs. X was awesome. I thought he was done very well in his minor thing. So I'm interested to see how she's going to expand and that be her central character. But there's a lot of times where Deadpool is just, it's not good. Like there was a Deadpool vs. Gambit 5-issue mini that came out a couple years ago. That was fucking awful. Deadpool was unbearable in it, dude. It was not good. He was not funny. It was terrible. I hated it.
If you want him to not be funny because he's being serious, Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe is pretty decent.
Oh no, not that he wasn't like they were trying to be funny. It just wasn't. It didn't work.
I got that.
It wasn't good.
I need to read more.
Yeah,
of
Deadpool
those
Kills the
because
Marvel
there's,
Universe.
That's
just insane.
Because there's like Deadpool Killustrated, and then Deadpool Kills Deadpool, and then
Deadpool's nuts, dude.
there was some more. Like there's been a few people like Punisher Kills Marvel Universe. Like Deadpool's like the only one that like, well, that Deadpool has continued to get his own series.
Right? Yeah. It's insane that character can kill the Marvel Universe. All he has is healing factor. That's it.
Yeah, but I mean, you bend the fucking rules of the fucking Marvel Universe to an extent in order for it to happen because like there's a few things in there that are very questionable. Like when he kills Hulk, he just follows Hulk until he falls asleep as Hulk as Bruce Banner again
and kills him
and then shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
That's not how that happens.
Which shouldn't be able to happen.
He
was
immediately
Hulk out.
activates every time.
Yeah, he would Hulk out.
There's another time where he just shoots Spider-Man like because Spider-Man fucked him up a little bit. But
Spider-Man should be really easy for him to kill because they're really good friends, so he should be able to lure him in pretty quickly.
No, this is after you already start killing people.
Oh, okay, so he
Spider-Man's
already
like,
knew.
You're unhinged.
Okay.
You're like you've gone crazy. There's a thing where like Spider-Man hurts him and he just gets in his face. It's like you're going to prison. Like you're facing consequences for what you've done, and he like shoots him in the face. Spider sense.
Right? Yeah. Bad thing about to happen.
Yeah, he would still know that that's going to happen. And I liked what he did with Wolverine because he basically took Raiden's blade from Metal Gear and just because it's like a high frequency blade, so it just vibrates at insane like rates or whatever. At first though, I think he just had him chained up, and every time like his healing factor started like activating, a flamethrower would just melt him again.
Oh,
and
that's
I was
awful.
like, damn, that's brutal.
Speaking of Wolverine, let's jump into the comics.
Yes, comics.
So this week we're going to continue talking about X-Men, about Jonathan Hickman, House of X and Powers of X, House of X and Powers of 10, issue 5 for both.
I hate the fact that you had to be correct about it.
I have to. So this series is, oh man, it's so insane. It's so deep. It's so fucking deep. Like, it's so insane.
That Redditor would love to hear that you talk about this.
I mean, that guy should do research on anything because it is incredibly complex.
That dude just needs to do some self-analysis.
Yeah, apparently. It's incredibly complex. So in House of X 5, when it opens, we meet these 5 mutants that end up being called the 5. And it's not 5 people that you would imagine would be really relevant necessarily. Like,
especially Gold Balls.
So, yeah. So the mutants are Gold Balls, which is essentially a nobody. Proteus, who's not. That is actually Moira McTaggart's son.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know
Yep.
that.
Elixir, who's not necessarily a nobody, but at the same time, it's like, eh. Then Tempest, kind of the same thing. And then, like, Hope Summers, which is definitely not a nobody. It's like, okay, fuck, Hope Summers is here. Like, that's definitely the biggest deal of these 5.
She was supposed to have been, like, the inheritor of the Phoenix Force a couple years ago.
Yeah, Hope's a beast, bro. Hope's a beast.
Is she Cyclops?
And
Okay.
Jean's daughter, yeah. So we meet the 5, and what the 5 are able to do is essentially, I'm not going to get like insanely in depth with it, but through all of their mutant abilities together, they are able to create these mutant husks that are like shell bodies of individual mutants. And through doing that, they were able to perform a form of resurrection. And to explain this a little more, this harkens back to the opening 2 pages from House of X issue 1, where we see Jean and Cyclops crawling out of these weird-looking pods, and Professor X says, "To me, my X-Men." We see those exact 2 same pages again after like the 5 come together, and the issue explains how they're doing what they're doing. Like each of them have a certain purpose. Xavier's purpose and his intent, not purpose, like the reason. What's the word I'm looking for? Role. Xavier's role with the 5, like he's not part of the 5, is that Cerebro.
He definitely should be.
Right. Is that Cerebro is able to store a mutant mind, the essence of who
Their
they
soul.
are as a person, right? Yeah, the anima of their essence, their soul, in it. And Xavier can transmit it into that mutant husk and recreate that mutant essentially, not even essentially, performing resurrection.
Thanks to Mr. Sinister's help for backing up their DNA.
Yes.
So it should be called the Seven.
Right, yeah, because Xavier and Sinister play a huge role in it.
Yeah.
But regardless.
But let me just say about Gold Balls. He's been a joke character, but they kind of hinted at this. I mean, not really. I doubt anybody fucking saw this coming.
Right, yeah, like.
But it was a couple years ago that a Deadpool from the future came back and met Gold Balls, and he freaked out. He's like, "Oh my god, you're a legend."
No way.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's genius. Right, so it definitely ties to that, but 100%
So
that
yeah,
was just
gold
Deadpool.
balls aren't just gold balls; they're fucking eggs.
Yeah,
Apparently,
they're eggs. That was definitely Deadpool just being Deadpool. Like, this guy's
yeah.
useless. You're a legend. You're so cool.
Yeah.
But it actually, like, makes sense. It's like,
Yes,
he came from the
exactly.
future. It's like, he knows it, bro. You're part of the 5.
I think that's
awesome.
really funny.
That's hilarious, dude. I wonder if Hickman had. I wonder if he was thinking that when he incorporated gold balls. It's like, Deadpool was right.
I hope so.
I do too, man. So through Cerebro, Professor X is able to put their mind back in this mutant husk body, which looks just like them.
So sorry to interrupt you, but they said Cerebro's like true purpose isn't just tracking all these mutants. And
It's to
apparently, its
store
true
minds.
purpose is to like restore souls to these husks.
Yeah, that's what Cerebro's true purpose is now. So we have all that exposition to how they can do it, and then we realize
Exposition.
Well, then we realize that the first 2 pages of House of X, number 1, and these 2 pages, like we recognize are the same thing, but now we realize what the event is that we were seeing in House of X 1. It is the resurrection of all the X-Men, that like all 7, I think, that just died, destroying the Mother Mold.
Mm-hmm.
They all got wiped out, and now they're all resurrected. So we didn't lose them.
I'm trying to remember all the ones it was. My favorite part of this issue is that they just stroll them out in front of all of Krakoa, butt ass naked.
Yeah, right. So they get birth. They have to leave that area to go in front of Krakoa. And at no point is anyone like, "Can I get some clothes?"
We finally get to see who's the bigger man between Logan
and Cyclops.
Yeah.
Oh man. So after that we have.
I'd appreciate it though, just seeing Jean Grey out there.
I mean, Nightcrawler was the man.
Really good
He's like,
censorship.
"We back, brother."
Really good censorship with his tail.
Oh yeah, very much so. Very much so. So after that we have Storm in this kind of odd.
I keep seeing people say it's like cultish.
Yeah, cultist like ceremony where she is the person that proves like to everybody that the mutants are who they're supposed to be, because people obviously be kind of standoffish at first, like, how do we really know?
Yeah.
So she asks each of them a specific question that's different, that only they would know the specific answer to, right? And it's an answer that pertains to them as their own, and that correlates with them and with Jean, or I'm sorry, and with Storm. So she asks the question, and like they give the answer, and she turns and looks at the crowd, and she's like, "We know you," or like, "I know you. We know you. You are," and the whole crowd's mutant. And they just keep doing that over and over and over again for like all 7 of them.
Yeah, but
and they all have
remember
some
those
pretty
that she
cool
was
lines.
like a priestess, like from
Storm,
her country.
yeah.
So that this is kind of what she does.
Yeah,
She's
true,
good at
true.
this.
I love that she's being put in this like position by Hickman. That she's being revered and given such a huge standing. Because I mean, fucking Storm should be.
It's about time that she's
She's amazing.
finally classified as a goddamn Omega.
Yeah, I mean, I think the moment they had her go to another planet and create weather there, it's like, oh, she's Omega.
You control weather anyway. That's Omega.
Well, no, because the understanding, or at least the belief to that point, from my understanding, was that she controlled the weather and patterns of Earth. But when she went to another planet and she created weather out of nothing,
sorry,
it's
Earth,
like,
this isn't
oh,
enough. Okay.
her power is to literally create and control weather no matter what.
Dude,
It's
she
like, oh,
could
this is insane.
And like single-handedly, pretty much wipe out a nation.
Yeah, she can wipe out a planet.
Yes.
It just calls mass destruction.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
"Quote unquote" natural destruction. So not natural because she's created them, but yeah,
Exactly, dude.
destruction of Mother
She
Nature.
can change, exactly. She can terraform the Earth.
How is she not Omega? And Hickman has confirmed she is, as she should be.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing with Magneto. How has it gone so long that it's like this dude controls the magnetic poles? He could destroy the planet at any point in time. How is he not Omega?
I never
And
thought
he is.
about that.
Yeah, at any time. And it's not even Earth because he's gone somewhere else too and controlled magnetism there. So it's not just like Storm. He's not just linked to controlling Earth's power, or like a power that's on Earth, like a force of Earth. So yeah, they both should be Omega, and they are.
Also, like how they don't make it like ridiculous, like, oh, they're just gonna revive everybody, because like they talk about the Genosha or Genosha.
Yeah,
however you pronounce it, like it would take roughly 300 years, or was it 3,000 years?
It was some
I think
insane
it was
like that
300
to
years.
resurrect everyone that died there.
Yeah, and that would mean like Xavier working just nonstop around the clock.
And having to train other people to help him do it as well.
Also, the one thing this comic didn't really do well is because they explained that it takes like 2 days for this process to happen, but it seems like this just happens in a matter of minutes.
He was explaining that it took 48 hours for it to happen, but he also said right after that, Hickman like made a point to mention that as the five
They've
have
been
done
getting
this more and
better.
more, they've been getting better and better and better at it, and it's been getting quicker and quicker. So it seems like it's a lot quicker than 2 days, but I don't think it was supposed to be minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just didn't illustrate the passage of time right there very well. Which, I mean, he hasn't really illustrated.
Not a big deal.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. He hasn't really been specific about illustrating passage of time in year 10 much anyway.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. He's been leaving it very ambiguous intentionally for sure. So yeah, they all of them are resurrected. Those 7 are not dead. It's unreal. And there's some caveats to like not caveats, there's like security measures put in
Yes.
place for resurrection. So death must be confirmed before resurrection, or Cerebro had to have not been able to detect the mutant for 1 month
Oh, damn,
before
okay, I
they
didn't
will
catch that
attempt
part.
resurrection. Yeah. That's in one of those white pages in this series that are like becoming apparent they're the most important pages in both of these series. Is those
Definitely stuff that's
exposition
set,
pages.
those pages are definitely what's setting up the future stuff more.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And it also states that they have not, so far, no mutant mind has been uploaded into a husk that is not its own body.
There's definitely implications there.
Yeah, 100%. There's the implications there that he says that, and then he says gone for 1 month. He put the time frame on it.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna see at some point copies of people.
Oh, for
or
sure.
at least or one character. But he also mentions later on too that they don't think that, like, they don't know because they haven't tried. Obviously, like the mutants haven't tried this, but they don't believe that they could survive.
Oh yeah.
That the mind could survive in that body. It would take an extreme mutant power that is in line with that, which made me think of Healing Factor, like a Deadpool Wolverine or like an X-23. That their body could maybe survive it, but would their psyche survive it? And they also said that someone with, and again, that's like another thing to put in there. And then they also alluded to the fact that someone who's like an extreme telekinetic or telepath could potentially or no, I'm wrong. This is what you and I were talking about earlier. A telepath would be able to like back up their mind or something that they had said like that, because Xavier has like reverted his mind twice to previous versions of himself, which I think is going to tie into, possibly is going to tie into how he walks. But also, maybe not. Maybe they just created an Xavier husk, and he put his mind in it.
They say Proteus is like made from Xavier husk.
Exactly, and Proteus walks.
Yeah, but Proteus also burns out within like a week.
And no, it's not. It's not Xavier husks. He's made from the DNA of Xavier to make the husks. So it's not like they're cloning Xavier's body and putting someone's mind into it.
It's still weird.
Yeah.
Proteus still dies on like a weekly, if not daily basis, apparently.
Weekly, they have to replace his body daily if he uses his power too much.
Which is just like, man, that sucks.
It's crazy, dude. So then after all that insanity, we move on to the UN meeting they're having to try to make Krakoa a sovereign nation. They're having a vote. And the vote passes. And it passes because Emma has like influenced people to not vote against it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she had done.
Which Xavier explains that will be consequences for
Yeah.
that, or there very well could be, because she's dominating someone's will.
Mm-hmm. Because they're going to realize later that like, oh, I didn't want to vote
At
for that.
first,
and
when I
did.
read that, I thought it meant like consequences of her dominating someone else's will is that like their willpower might like alter her mind to an extent.
No, I think he just meant there'll be
Because
consequences
people will
against
fucking
Krakoa.
catch on to that.
Yeah.
And like, okay, you did something so unlike you. Like, what's going on here?
What, Emma?
No, like I'm saying.
Oh,
her
like the
dominating,
people?
a
Yeah.
politician's
Oh,
mind.
no, yeah.
'Cause I
Could've
can't
meant
remember
that.
what it was. I think it was like a Russian delegate or something that was going to vote against it, but then they abstained.
Yeah, they
And
abstained.
he's like, I wonder why that happened. She's like, what the hell are you trying to say?
Mhm.
He's like, I'm saying that Krakoa appreciates your.
Yeah, he's like,
your
I know what
efforts.
you did.
Yeah.
And it was kind of devious how they had that
Oh,
little interaction
100%.
too.
I think it was funny that it showed like all the nations that didn't vote for it, and one of them was of course like North Korea, because like I mean, the place is a shithole.
The best was Wakanda. It was like, they have no need.
I thought that was hilarious. And
That was
sometimes that's
awesome.
necessarily because like I mean, obviously, I guess they have to dislike mutants to an extent. And why else would they not vote for it?
Because it doesn't interest them. They have no need.
I
They
mean,
don't need the drugs. It doesn't help them.
because they're so damn advanced.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter to them. I would imagine that if anything, they would maybe be in favor of it because
and Latveria was one of them.
yeah, of course, because Doom does not care. So yeah, after that, we see Xavier sending out this telepathic message, inviting all these different mutants to come to Krakoa, and among them are Mr. Sinister, so this is when he first invites him to Krakoa, and fucking Apocalypse. The two coolest panels for me in this entire issue is Apocalypse showing up to Krakoa.
I see a lot of villains too.
Yeah,
And the
almost everyone in
Marauders.
that whole page are all villains. Yeah, the Marauders and with Sinister and shit are there. Apocalypse shows up and he essentially says, like, it's good to be back. Because he knows Krakoa, because previously we have learned Krakoa used to be two, like it was split in two. It was one big mass, you know, split in two, and part of it like fell into this like other reality or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was that they said they had done, but it was guarded from attack and protected by Apocalypse and his horsemen at the time.
And his horsemen.
Yeah. So Apocalypse and Krakoa have like history, and Krakoa obviously appreciates Apocalypse. So they all have to recite this like speech to say that they are like part of Krakoa. And right before they do that, Wolverine kind of has like words with Apocalypse. He's like, how do we know that you're not gonna like try to attack us? How do you know you're really with us? And he goes, Apocalypse tells him, I have no reason to like be against you now. You've finally become what I've wanted you to be. You've proved that you were strong. And I was like, oh God.
Yeah,
This
how,
bad.
I like how he seemed like a proud dad.
Yeah, he
even
even
though
said
it
that. He's
wasn't
like, I feel like
his
a proud
moment.
father. Yeah, that was awesome. He shows up like, this is my moment. It's like, no, it's not. And then after he recites, they all recite the speech, the last panel, the last full page of this is a full splash page of Xavier and Apocalypse shaking hands, and Xavier
"Welcome
saying,
home."
welcome home. That shit was dope.
Mm-hmm.
That was dope. And that was House 5, and that was an awesome issue. Very awesome issue. As always, the artwork was incredible in this issue. Hickman's writing is fucking amazing.
I wouldn't even say like the art style is like truly outstanding. I don't know what it is about it
it's
that's so
so-
appealing.
It's so pristine.
Yeah.
There's not a flaw in
I
it.
think it's like the colors and the lighting.
Yeah, dude, it's
mostly
just so
for me.
pristine. It's not like striking like Silver Surfer Black or something like that,
Yeah.
but it's just so perfect. You just, as you're reading, nothing sticks out because nothing is wrong. Nothing is bad. It's all consistently good.
I
I
mostly
love it.
like all the panels with Krakoa.
Dude,
I guess
yeah,
because
Krakoa
it's
looks
just so
awesome.
otherworldly.
I love the way it looks. And then after that, we move on to Powers of
I
10.
still think it's funny that like a bunch of mutants are just living on a mutant island.
Yeah, like the island itself is a mutant. Move on to Powers 10, issue 5 as well. And in this one, the beginning of it, we see Xavier and Forge having a conversation where Xavier is asking him to build the Cerebro that he is using in the current time.
Do you know who Forge is?
Yeah, Forge is a character who was like very much so not that important. And he wasn't really thought of highly because his power was just to like
How's that a
understand and build technology.
How's that a fucking power?
It's in the power in the same way that Cypher can understand language, right?
That's a little bit different to me.
Not really. Like, it's a different... The concept seems largely the same to me. Forge is able to understand technology and, like, build it.
I
He
just
builds you
feel like
anything,
that's more
basically.
like an intellect kind of thing instead of like a mutant power.
Yeah, but he can understand any technology.
Oh, like even alien?
Yeah, because he uses Shi'ar tech to help build Cerebro.
Oh, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
He can literally forge anything. You know what I mean?
I am an X-Men amateur.
And in this beginning panels, we see Xavier's in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Well, he has been every time they show year 1
Yep.
or
So,
year 0.
what the fuck happened? I want to know why he's walking.
Well, like you said, he backed up his mind.
I know, but I want to know I want the answer.
He probably he's like, Wolverine stabbed me in the heart. I'll just create another husk.
Right, yeah, just go ahead and take me
Get
out,
gold
big
balls
guy.
in here.
Come on, gold balls. I love that that's still his name. They didn't even try to change it. It's like gold balls. Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Then after that, we see Xavier and Magneto going to recruit Emma Frost.
Well, hold on. I think we skipped a little bit of Forge.
Nope.
He says creating 5 backups.
Yeah, I mean, we skipped some of their conversation, but I mean, like, Xavier, Ford says you would need a backup, and Xavier's like, I want 5, you know?
It's just like, what the hell?
And Ford tells him, in theory, this could absolutely work, but you would need, like, an unlimited power source and unlimited storage of data. And he's like, that doesn't exist. And then Xavier's like, here on Earth, and Ford's like, I should have fucking seen that coming.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, the Shi'ar Empire can help us out. We can use their technology.
But how
Using
often
Shi'ar
is it
crystals,
that, like,
which are
is
like
it
unlimited data
weekly-
storage.
Is it weekly that Xavier backs up every mutant's mind?
I think it's weekly he backs them up, and then it's like yearly or something he actually makes like a copy.
Okay.
Yeah. Which that's what takes him like several days and he can't be disturbed.
So much time.
Yeah, dude, it's unreal. So yeah, after that we move on to Xavier and Magneto recruiting Emma Frost. And what they're trying to do, this is the beginning stages, and when they first bring her into Krakoa into their cause. Emma Frost runs the Hellfire Corporation, which is like a pharmaceutical company. Or they have a pharmaceutical branch.
With a non-sinister name.
Well, the Hellfire was like just a group of villains to begin with that Emma Frost was the leader of.
Oh,
Now
really?
it's like a corporation.
Okay.
She's like turned it into a company. And they need her to distribute the drugs, and also they need to use the Hellfire Club to get into places that vote against it. They can get in illegally and distribute the drugs in exchange for getting mutants out of there illegally. So they need like the black market, and they need Emma's ties to it with the Hellfire Club. And not only that, they need her to bring in Sebastian Shaw, who she says she has just fired, who is an awful villain.
Is that
And they'll bring
Black
him in.
King?
Yeah, the Black King
Okay,
Sebastian
I don't
Shaw.
know anything about that guy.
He's a piece of garbage and a mutant. He's not a good person.
But they're offering him a seat on the council.
Yeah, because they need him.
But why?
And-
What's he do?
He's a mutant.
What's his
so
power?
He comes. I could not remember exactly.
Wow.
Been a
I
long time
rely
since-
on
hold
you,
on.
dude.
All right, we're back. So I had to look up a little bit about Sebastian Shaw because I couldn't remember his exact mutant ability. So his ability is to absorb energy and transform it into raw strength. So essentially, he will just beat the living hell out of anybody.
I mean, probably not anybody.
Most people, right? A lot of people. And he is the, they need him to be the Black King to Emma's White Queen. The White Queen, Emma, will be the front face of the operation. She will be the public figure, the knight in shining armor that's helping distribute all this stuff and giving humans 5 extra years of life. And Sebastian Shaw will be the Black King ruling the black market for them, doing the backdoor deals that no one can know about.
Those pharmaceuticals also apparently just like alleviate any mental illness. So like
Yep.
say goodbye to like bipolarism or schizophrenia and
Yep,
stuff. Which
exactly.
Is just like that's
They're
crazy.
miracle cures, but they only work for humans.
Yeah.
So they need that. So Emma, after their conversation, and after Magneto at one point, like, we were thinking of 20, and she's like, mm-hmm. He's like, he's like, 50, your exclusive rights deal. And she goes, that's more like it. And they're like, we're offering you 2 seats on the Quiet Council of Krakoa, which is something we haven't heard about yet until this. So the Quiet Council of Krakoa is 12 individuals that will run Krakoa in like a governmental fashion.
But it showed 14 seats. In that
Because
white
2
page.
seats are Cypher
Cypher
and
and
Krakoa
Krakoa.
itself, but they're not like seats on the council. Their seats can't be taken.
Oh yeah.
They're they have to be there,
Okay.
right? So they're not really considered like seats that can be given. So in this Quiet Council, they will like run Krakoa essentially. Like they'll discuss all affairs that have to deal with like the politics side and stuff like that. And Xavier asked him if that's like the plan moving forward, and Xavier's like, essentially we'll play it by ear, but for now this is the plan.
It also looked to me like Xavier and Magneto had a moment between each other because when they look at each other, you see like some like white bubbles that like seem to hint that they were having like a telekinetic.
you talk about that
or
conversation?
telepathic conversation.
Emma would 100% overhear that.
Yeah.
She's way
I
powerful. Way
figured
too
that
powerful.
too. Yeah.
She's way too powerful. I'm pretty sure more powerful than Xavier as a telepath.
What?
Pretty sure. Xavier's not the strongest. Jean is 30 times
I
stronger
know
than him.
Jean's strongest, but I thought he would still be like the second.
Well, I mean, Emma has battled Jean in like telepathic wars and has won at times.
How the fuck is that?
Because Emma's overpowered. She's OP. She's amazing. Emma also doesn't have the mental blocks that Jean has ever had in her, so that has like stopped her power. Emma's always just been full of strength. So strong that's like so much power that she created 3 clones of herself that have almost the same power. It's a fraction, but it's a
See,
lot
I
of
never
power.
knew their origins.
The Cuckoo sisters,
Yeah.
yeah, they're like I'm almost positive that she created them. Again,
How?
don't remember.
How does she create them?
Don't remember exactly. Probably through genetic experimenting. Emma's been a villain for a long time. Anyways, and I could be wrong on that stuff, so look it up. I'm not gonna right now because we're going pretty long. So after that, they say that they will offer her 2 seats on the Quiet Council, 1 for her, 1 for Sebastian Shaw. So the only 4 we know are her, Sebastian Shaw, Xavier, and Magneto.
I thought there was one other person.
Of the 12 seats. Nope,
Okay.
there's 8 we don't know yet. And Emma's like, that's great, but I need 3 seats. So, before we move ahead, I have some spoilers. I know all 12 members.
What?
Yes.
How?
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
All right, so for those of you that are reading this that may not want to be spoiled, this will be announced at some point. No one knows when or how that they're going to reveal all the members. But I'm going to get through this really quickly, so maybe skip ahead 5 or 6 minutes. Spoilers are starting right now. Due to an error by Marvel, the review copy sent to journalists has revealed all the other 8 members. One of their names you could barely see in the black bar. So someone was like, I wonder if you could just copy paste this. They did, and it revealed all the names. Yeah. So the name that you could see was Mystique. So in the way it lists the trees, were like Autumn, I think, was the top one. It was Xavier, Magneto, and there was one more.
Yeah, I forgot it had seasons for
Yeah.
some reason. What was with that?
I don't remember. They haven't explained.
Okay.
So it was Xavier, Magneto, and Apocalypse.
Oh, I mean, Apocalypse makes sense.
So the other 8 are Apocalypse, Mystique, Sinister, Exodus, who's an Omega level mutant, so that makes sense.
Who's Exodus?
All right, so since Steven had asked me what Exodus' powers were, I had to go look it up real quick, because, again, it's been a while since I've read anything about Exodus. So Exodus is just like, pick one. He's telekinetic, telepath, superhuman strength, friggin' regenerator to healing factor. I believe he's the Omega level telekinetic.
He's pretty balanced.
Yeah, he's balanced to being just overpowered. So we've got Apocalypse, Mystique, Mr. Sinister, Exodus, Kitty Pryde, who will be the Red Queen.
Sinister has a seat?
Yeah, of course he is. He's their gene mutation, or he's their genetic coder. They need him.
Okay.
Kitty Pryde will be the seat that Emma wanted, the third seat. She'll be the Red Queen because she's the one that keeps Emma in check and balances her out, and Emma is smart enough to know that she needs that. And then also, I lost my place here, Jean Grey, of course, the Omega level telepath. Storm. And then the way this list is going, you would expect the last person to be Cyclops, yeah? He's the field leader.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Who is it?
It's Nightcrawler. How dope is that? That made me so excited. I was like, fucking Nightcrawler. And it makes sense when you think about Year 1000 because he was one of the ones used his DNA to make those Omegas.
Oh, yeah.
He was the Cardinals.
Chimeras.
Yeah, but they were called Cardinal. That was their
okay.
name. The whole line was called Cardinal. It was from him. Him and I'm assuming his dad as Azazel, who is just the most. If you don't know anything about Azazel, you should research him sometime. Just Wikipedia him. He's like one of the top 5 most broken characters in all of comics.
Really?
Bro, it's just like when they need him to do something, he has no ability.
How?
And he's immortal and literally cannot be killed by anyone for any reason ever, period. He's been sent to hell before, but he gets out. He's insane, bro.
I don't know.
Wikipedia
anything
has
about
ass.
him.
He's nuts.
There's so many X-Men I don't know anything about.
Raw. So, spoilers are done here, blah, blah, blah. Those are the 8 people, so if you didn't want to know that, you don't know. So we're going to move past that now. So then we see again after the council meeting with Emma Frost bringing her on, we see Xavier again sending the message out to all the mutants, but this is like the first time he's done it.
Yeah.
This wasn't when he was sending it to the villains. This is the first time he sent a mass message to everyone like, come live on Krakoa.
To all mutants.
Yeah. And then after he does that, he goes to see someone that everyone has been asking about. Tons of fans have been wondering, where the fuck is this character at? We're talking about mutants and we don't have the original? Where's the first?
We've seen Apocalypse. I know.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. So the first person ever to be called a mutant in the comics was Namor, and we finally get to see him.
He was the first person to actually be called a mutant?
He was the first person Marvel ever called a mutant, yeah. Like, he's the first mutant, even though Apocalypse is the first canonical mutant, he was the first one to ever be a mutant.
Okay.
But Namor was the first one to be called that. And technically, he's still the first, he was created before Apocalypse, but in the canon timeline, Apocalypse was around before him.
Yeah.
So anyways, we see Namor as Professor X goes to Atlantis to talk to him, and Namor essentially is like, get the fuck out.
So arrogant.
Dude, I love him, dude. Namor's a beast.
He's like, so you finally came here because you finally realized that you're better than everybody else. Do I strike you as the person that just now realized that? I was like, wow, what a fucking dick.
He's like, good to see you too, Namor.
And he's like, be gone, little man, and come back when you're actually serious.
Yeah. I was like, oh, right. Well, Namor's awesome. So Namor does not come to Krakoa. That doesn't work.
He's like the one person I think that hasn't joined.
Yeah, because he's the king
Which
of
I've seen
Atlantis.
people complain, like, why would everybody go there? Because there's so many people that do have, like, different motivations.
Yeah, but it's because they're all mutants and they all understand the plight of being a mutant.
Yeah,
That's the one thing that ties them together. That's what makes Namor different, because he also understands the plight of being an Atlantean.
I would like to see, like, a falling out with some of them.
We will. For sure.
I'm sure we will,
For
yeah.
sure. There's too much heat in one room. Like, we're going to see it.
Yeah.
So after Namor turns him down, he's like, get out. We jump forward again to year 1000, and we get to find out the answer of the, apparently it's called phalanx is how I've been hearing people pronounce it now, audibly, because I've been saying phalanx. Apparently it's phalanx.
Okay.
So we get the phalanx's answer, and they fucking accept.
But they killed the Elder.
They accept the offer, and then destroy the Elder. So the librarian is asking Nimrod why this has happened. There's a theory right now that the librarian and the other person, I don't think it was the Elder, maybe it was the Elder though, are Professor X and Mora.
Like merged into one?
They've been merged with Apocalypse's DNA, and that's why they're blue and have the longevity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they're still alive. Which I've been thinking one of them was Xavier and or Mora, but I didn't think about the fact that it could be both of them. Like, Xavier's a librarian, Mora's the Elder, or, yeah, I think the Elder. So that, like, makes sense. Or the other way, I guess. But, yeah, so the Phalanx accepts the offer and has to absorb the Elder. So the librarian asks Nimrod why this is, and Nimrod goes into this really big explanation, but the important parts of it are, Nimrod explains that at the heart of every black hole, there's a supermassive machine brain, each one containing a society so advanced it has collapsed in on itself because it became so dense and created a black hole. Black holes are singularities. They're wormholes. They're bridges from one to another. which means that all of them could be connected as one single machine across the entirety of the known universe as one collective intelligence.
But yet they still have a master.
No. These aren't the Phalanx. These would be the third tier. The Phalanx would be serving them.
Oh, really? I
Yeah,
thought it was
so
still said that
Nimrod
they
is
would
just
ha-
explaining
okay.
all of this. He's explaining like who the Phalanx have served and why they would have to do this. Because that singularity of those supermassive machine brains would require energy, and the Phalanx would be the ones that are delivering that to them. And the Phalanx, in order to get energy, have to devour planets. Have to absorb them. So first off, we can't just
What?
gloss over how mind-blowing that was.
Yes.
That Jonathan Hickman just said that every black hole in the universe, at the center of it, is a supermassive machine brain, and it exists because the society became so intelligent that their intelligence started to gain weight and became so dense that it collapsed in on itself. They grew to the point of being brown dwarfs, and then grew past that and collapsed in on themselves and became black holes. And all black holes are singularities with an intelligence in the middle of them that are all connected because they're all wormholes, and it forms one collective intelligence. And then Nimrod even alludes, he's like, what you could consider the God that humans searched for.
Oh, yeah.
Which I didn't like that line, but still. Just because, like, I don't know. Move on from that. But, fuck me, dude. It's so mind-blowing.
Yeah.
That Hickman's like, this is what we're doing. I want to see the concept art and boards and the concept pages that he handed to Marvel to be like, this is the storyline I'm doing. I want to see that. I want to see his pitch. It had to have been insane. So the Phalanx will absorb Earth's collective intelligence. Its history and its consciousness will live forever within the Phalanx, but to do so, they have to feed on the planet, consuming it in its entirety. And they make a point of Nimrod saying, leaving no living being left, which means Mora will die. If that is Mora. So if that is Mora in the end, her intelligence just gets absorbed into the Phalanx.
And she was reincarnated.
And she was killed, and she'll be reincarnated with all of that knowledge, which is why we don't see her in year 10. Because I think year 10 is... No, we haven't seen her. I think it's the last life of Mora, and it's because she's not a person anymore. She is now a supermassive intelligence, I think. I think she could be a Phalanx herself, or a singularity herself. Like, I don't know.
She's a supermassive black hole.
We haven't seen her yet, and it's obviously going to be revealed. Like, it's going to be a big deal of why she hasn't been around in year 10, in X10 yet. We don't know. We haven't seen her. Or it's very possible that we're just thinking too difficultly about it, and she is Xavier.
Which I've seen people say, yeah, because
like,
he
their
did have like a
consciousness
rather
merges.
feminine pose when they come back to him.
Not like their consciousness merged into one person. Like, they realized that's what they needed to, like, continue on humanity. They need to be the same. That can be possible. So to go along, I wanted to touch on this real quick. So Jonathan Hickman is teaching science. He's teaching you real concepts here that a lot of people probably don't even know. He's tying this whole thing with the year 1000 into something called the Kardashev scale. And all that is a scale that explains the intelligence of societies, right? So Earth, here on humans in real life, we are a type 1 civilization. We are a super intelligent species, but we're not like super advanced, right? A type 2 civilization would be a civilization that has harnessed the power of their star. Their star would be the sun. That is our star. It's this. The sun is what we all orbit, like the planets orbit around in this solar system. They would have harnessed the power of their star, and that doesn't necessarily mean that like they're living on the sun or they're controlling the sun. There's like, if you want to get deeper into it, I'm not going to, but you can look up ways that the sun's power could be harnessed, because there are theories out there right now that are 100% that could be used.
I think there's a video by Kurzgesagt that has something that covers that.
Right, yeah. It's just we don't have the means to build something like that in space, which is where it had to be built, and to construct it and put it around the sun. We don't have the means to do that right now.
It's just not feasible.
Yeah, it's not feasible for us. But the theory exists, and it's been tested as far as they can test it and proven that, like, oh, this could work. So they would have harnessed the power of their sun, which means that a Type 2 civilization would not destroy their planet. They would be entirely solar, which we are only minorly, like less than 0.101% solar. It's very advanced. A Type 3 civilization would be so advanced that we wouldn't be able to comprehend it properly. They would have space travel. And think about that for a second, right? Like, we watch so much sci-fi and all this shit, like, oh, space travel. Like, really think about that. Space travel. Intergalactic travel. To go from planet to planet at will. That's insanely advanced. That's unbelievable. That would be a Type 3 civilization. Jonathan Hickman has tied these into the Phalanx. The Phalanx themselves are a Type 3 supermassive intelligent civilization. Like, that whole line is, right? The Phalanx is like a Type 2, I think, actually. But a Type 3 is it goes up to a Titan, and then to the next one, a Stronghold. Those would be Type 3. So, like, he's using this real scientific scale to tie in to the X-Men. I just thought it was really fucking cool. And this dude has done his research.
I don't like. Yeah, I like what you're talking about with like the whole machine scaling intelligence as they just keep like made of smaller machines, but it's like just one insane collective.
Yeah, that machine collective intelligence, like that scale, the type 1, type 2, and type 3, is the Kursor scale. He's just using it as for the machine mind.
Yeah,
Like the
he's just
Kursor
saying-
scale is a real scientific like conversation, like a real thing. So then after that, that's the end of the issue. We end with the white pages we always do, but not with a quote from Xavier or Magneto. We end with a quote from Namor, and I think it's the most telling quote we have ever had in this yet. Because it's just a repeat of when he says, when you see me again. Oh, no, it's not a repeat. It's what he says, when you see me again, understand what that means. To Namor, that means that Xavier would understand, that would truly understand mutants are the superior. And there is no pact with humans. There is no pact with machine. There is no we help them. There is we are the dominant and we rise to the food chain. If any of the storylines go in that direction, that's when Namor's brought in, and that's when we know Xavier's no longer the Xavier that we've known anymore. He's a completely different character now.
I think he's already been different.
Yeah, but it's about preservation of life. To side with Namor after Namor has said this is no more preservation of life. It's only preservation of mutants, and it's wiping everybody else out. That's some serious business.
Do you think that means we're going to go to war? Or they're going to go to war?
If he goes back to Namor, that's what it means.
I mean,
That's also Hickman's way of showing Namor and leaving Namor out of this whole story. Because Xavier doesn't want to go to war. That's why I think it's one of the most important quotes we've had yet. It fully explains the dynamic of Namor and what it means if we see him again.
I mean, I would say, like, I don't know how mutants couldn't win a war.
Well,
Because the only
we see them
only
lose it.
reason is because there's just so few of them.
They lost the war, bro. That's what Mora's lives are all about. They lose.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
Against
against
just humans, they easily win.
You have Storm, you have Namor. Those two alone could wipe out half the planet. Apocalypse.
Yeah, but they can't wipe out all the Sentinels because the Sentinels evolve into a mutant power absorption.
Yeah, I know. That's the only thing. They absorb mutant powers?
Yes, they evolve into that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's why they can't. Like, that's why the mutants don't fuck with them.
I thought the Sentinels were just dangerous because they're, like, very, very durable and they're just self-replicating.
Sorry, not absorb. They invulnerable.
Okay.
They adapt to be invulnerable to certain powers after they experience them, and they replicate to where like, okay, well now like lightning can't harm them.
I say Namor controls the fucking oceans, man. He controls over half the planet.
Yeah, and that's why it's a big deal. Namor comes back in
because he himself has like almost taken out all of Wakanda. I think at least in Avengers versus X-Men story.
Namor's a beast, dude.
Yeah,
he's not to be taken lightly.
No, and he's a massive prick.
Yeah, when Hickman writes him, yeah. He's an arrogant.
He's always been a prick.
No, I mean he's always been kind of arrogant for sure, but he's not always a prick because he does side with the mutants and he
well, I think
and
he,
do
like
good
in
things.
canon, I think he's literally bipolar.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
He's in X-Men Red. He's part of the team of Jean Grey's team.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he's kind of like an ass at times, but he understands the cause and wants to fight for it.
So let me ask you, what do you think will be resolved in these next two issues, and what do you think will be unanswered?
I have no idea. We're at the point now where it's like, I don't really know the path we're taking because there's only 2 issues left, and I don't see how Hickman's wrapping all this up in 2 issues.
I mean, obviously not everything's getting wrapped up because he's starting the Dawn of X series.
Yeah, I don't see how he's wrapping. I just
And
don't
when I say
see,
Dawn of X, that means like all 6
Yeah,
issues
all 6
that are
of the new
coming
ones.
out.
I don't see the path of how this is being wrapped up to start 6 new stories. I don't understand how he's doing that in 2 issues. I'm very intrigued how that's going to happen.
Well, for the most part, I mean, X-Force is going to be all about, I think, finding mutants that are dead, or at least confirming those deaths.
That or it's the Black Ops team.
They're supposed to be the CIA of X-Men.
Well, the X-Force, though, is a Black Ops operation. That's the original
yeah.
reason it was created. So they could be the ones that are going into other countries and smuggling out the mutants.
What do you know about the Marauders?
They're usually villains, so this is weird.
Okay.
Yeah. And Kitty's the leader of it, which, again, that's why Emma's bringing her in. She's also going to bounce the Marauders out.
Yeah, from what we've seen of all those issues, though, or like all the series that are coming out, like Xavier's still nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, on any of those covers or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on.
You think he's going to die? Again?
I think it's possible.
Again?
It's possible. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what they need. Xavier and Mora both can't be around. That's why there's a council.
It seems like Excalibur's dealing with like an invasion on Krakoa, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks weird. It looks weird.
That might be the main X-Men series.
The main X-Men series is supposed to deal with the Summers clan.
Yeah, one of those series is supposed to be dealing with like I think they referenced it in one of the series that there's like when you go through the portal to Krakoa, you're temporarily in this other world that's not monitored by Krakoa or
Did
something.
they say that?
Yeah.
I do not remember that.
You don't remember that?
Uh-uh.
Okay.
Oh shit! Is that why they
I would-
reference? Is that why they reference magic at one point?
I would compare it to God of War, but you haven't played God of War.
You know what I'm talking about, right? The character of Magic, Ilyana.
Yeah.
Rasputin. Is that why they referenced her? Is that how she's gonna tie into when they go to that portal across dimensions? That's what they would need Ilyana for,
Okay, cool.
because she's the queen of limbo.
Because they
so.
said Krakoa
Ruler
is
of
like
limbo.
they said Krakoa is like unaware of that area too.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude! I bet that area is fucking limbo. That's Magic's domain. She's the ruler of limbo. That's
Okay.
probably if that's what they're saying. That's probably what that is, and that's how she'll be brought in. That's a pretty huge character to be leaving out as far as like not by popularity, but as far as like the presence and of what she's capable of. To not have magic around, that's weird because she can transport people through realms and like through dimensions, places. It's weird that she's not here.
I know for like these upcoming series, I think 3 or 4 of them is being headed by Hickman.
I don't. I think he's only writing the main X series, but he's overseeing all of them. Like all their ideas have to go through him. He has to approve everything.
Fallen Angel seems like it's the most different and like the least grand scale.
Which is the one with only 3 people.
Yeah, X-23, Cable, and
That's Fallen Angels?
Psylocke.
Yeah. That what the hell is happening there? And why is there only 3 of them?
Hickman's not writing it. Cable also looks really young.
Yeah, it's young Cable still. Cable died and his future self came back or something like that. It was weird. I don't know. It was fucking weird. They had an X-Force series for a little while that young Cable was the leader of.
I'm very excited though to read all of those.
I am too. I'm super intrigued as where this is going. I'm very excited.
But yeah, we are approaching the end game of HoX and PoX.
Yeah, one more of each left. And PoX 6 is the one of the red copies again.
Yep.
Red issues. Like a big event. Don't miss it. Which is going to be what sets up all the next 6 issues.
Have you seen the cover?
Thought I did, but now I'm not remembering.
I think PoX 6 is the one that has Moira on it, just surrounded by like a bunch of dead X-Men.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's not good. I don't know what to say about that.
I don't know. We'll see though in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That is if we survive, Joker coming out.
Dude, a little thing about that. My cousin was like, we were talking about that controversy yesterday. I think it was, yeah. And he's like, are you going to go see when it comes out? I was like, yeah, opening day. And he's like, really? And I was like, yeah, why would I not? It's a comic movie. And he was like, man, he's like, you're going Thursday. And I was like, oh, well, I'm going opening weekend because I work Thursday and didn't realize it came out this weekend.
Is it this Thursday?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's this Thursday.
Oh,
the 4th.
I'm off.
Are you?
Yeah.
Nice. I'm going to go this weekend or Monday. If Josh is going to go Monday, I'll just wait and go with him.
I'll go after my fucking AA meeting.
Yeah, you druggy.
Can you tell I've been drinking this entire cast?
Anyways, with that one, that's going to wrap it up for us here at Omega Level. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to us on a podcast app, make sure you give us a 5-star rating, subscribe, tell all your friends about us. The best podcast on the planet, no matter the topic.
Yep, our live audience seems to really enjoy it.
Dude, yeah. They're digging it, boys. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in. And next week it's going to be Steven and Josh back in action again, being fat.
If we survive.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in.
See ya.